was like amazing.
Yeah.
It was like shit to do, and like
We
went to a we went to the county fair. Just happened to line up. It was really so fun.
Kenda, Scott Iverone, love
And
to
then
see
we
you.
went to like this. It was like a little person wrestling thing. You know what that is?
Oh yeah.
I forget what it's called, but it's like really popular.
Matter of fact,
Yeah.
they have it at Widowmaker. They have a
really?
whole, yeah.
It was
whole
like this-
series.
It was like this picturesque night. It was like fucking cornfields, sunset, little people like doing crazy moves, dude. And like we had a couple drinks. We were just having the best time. And it was like, dude, we're like in the middle of Pennsylvania. It's like, what are we doing? Why are we going to Portugal?
One of those.
This is awesome.
One of those the
That's what I live for.
the European mind can't understand.
Yeah. Look
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah. Unbelievable. All right, here we are.
1, 2. There we go. Wow.
I got
Headphones.
plenty there.
Strong.
I sound good.
I had.
Crisp, clear, clean. What mountain did you go to today?
I went to chemo.
Oh, chemo.
They had a wind hold for most of the morning, which stinks. But it was fun with Jesse, Sam, and Rob, and it was...
I was talking to Pete, and I was like, maybe Mount Snow? And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know. But then I thought about it. You kind of late today, so I was like, there's no way he drove to Jay.
No, Mount Snow, when it's wind, is like the worst place on Earth. It just doesn't... This is like one main set of lifts, and if they close them, you're done.
Yep.
And Okima's big enough where if they close lifts, like...
Yeah.
You can just you go to other ones. Is what
you
we
got
did.
options.
Is the wind advisory just solely because it's too crazy to be on said lift?
Yeah, modern lifts have sensors when they start tipping,
Okay.
and they're just like, "Fuck you, we're going to." It'll literally just go slow until you get everybody off the lift.
Yep.
Right.
So, so they run the dangerous old boys instead. That
The
are
ones-
slow as shit, anyways.
The ones that you see the videos of when the people pile up at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the ones going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was fun. It was a bunch of guys. I don't think I've snowboarded with Sam since I was in like high school, and like since then he's been like right on the brink of being a pro. Still nasty to ride with, and then Robin Jester, you're good. So all the boys were landing front side ones. Don't you worry about it. Ripping a couple onesies.
Frontside ones.
Front side ones. As far as I spin now.
Not in a one. It's just a 1 degree.
One.
Just
Yeah,
front
yeah,
side
yeah.
one.
It's a bit of a. Yeah.
Jordan's in the room. Love to
There we
see
go.
that.
Corey, I have.
Yeah, I need that, and then should be good to go. We're not gonna let this pre-party run too long.
Yeah. There's the monetary.
All right.
It's good. We're up 2.4%. It's good. Sign.
I like that we're using
Love points.
percentages.
Do I still got to be close to this mic?
Oh
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We did upgrade the holder.
stand.
Yeah, so it's helps a little.
Yeah, it's significantly better. All right, what's the other one?
Other one, out there.
Where you at?
There we go.
Here we are. Voila.
Yeah, sometimes I just get like the urge, like in the middle of the night, I'll just be like, I should just. People, we take for granted how like freeing cars are, how incredible they are. I could just drive to like the Grand Canyon now.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
get in and go.
100%.
You ever heard
Hell
that
yeah.
song by Merle Haggard, Running Kind? You ever heard that? Or the Fugitive?
So Merle Haggard was a boxer.
And, he was no. Well,
Merle Haggard is also
Country
a
artist.
country.
Oh,
yeah,
is he?
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I wasn't aware he did music.
yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
that song is just about like wanting to leave all the time because
Yeah.
you just can. And I
Yeah.
get that urge like on a pretty regular basis. And I never understood that until I got older. It's like, I just kind of want to go somewhere, man.
Yeah,
And like that's kind of what this country's all about. It's
Oh,
like
it's pretty
you
sick,
can just
dude.
you can just get up and leave.
I was in Vermont like a couple hours ago.
I know.
I was gonna say
heard.
that.
I was just
I
telling.
heard.
It's the jam. I
Yeah.
could have just kept going to Canada. Fuck it. I'm
Yeah,
out.
why not? Got a
Whatever
full
you
tank
want.
of gas.
Yeah.
It's the
Not in that LX, buddy. 3 tanks of gas to Montreal, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. That thing sucks.
that was one of the most kind of enlightening things about getting a license. It's like, wait a second.
Yeah, dude.
It theoretically, again, because of gas and everything else,
Right.
I can go wherever I want.
Yeah.
Like I can just go.
I was like obsessed. Even when I was a kid, I guess I wanted to go to Legoland so bad because you got there and they would give you like a kid license,
Yeah.
and I just wanted that. Like I wanted nothing
Need-
else.
need that license.
I want the license. Dude.
Dude,
I
give
want to
me-
be able to drive.
we
Give
can go to
me the wheel.
Legoland right after the podcast.
Yeah, I
I'll
could.
go. It's in New York.
I
Ain't
could.
far.
I got most of a tank of gas.
We'll
I
get
could
that
probably
license.
Make it down there. It's like just put your foot down, dude. It's like, dude. It's like once you own a car with a small block Chevy, you realize how much American music goes so well to just a wide open small block. I should go to Arizona. I should go.
Really brings it all together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Just imagine what was going on in that, engineering room, that design room.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, it's like, well, there's a reason. It's like American music sounds good to an American car. It's like, yeah, sure. It's like it just makes sense.
Yeah.
it
Dude,
just
play-
makes sense.
Just play Lagrange on repeat. We're going to Dallas, boys.
Dude, the best part, what you driving in Texas, and there was a sign for LaGrange, and I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, oh
Let's
my
go.
God, there it is. Little Texas town. I'm like, there it is. It's right there. This is it. This is why ZZ Top did what they did.
Yeah.
If you went, you would have become a member.
I just beard down to my knees.
Immediately happen.
Yeah, dude. That's what I wanted.
The Lego
Powered by
license?
Ford?
Powered by Ford. So it must have been a partnership
It's
with
just
Ford.
a convince. It's
The Ford
just a
back there.
coincidence that that's Corey's background on his computer.
Yeah, yeah. I just shared it with everyone here. Yeah. I like it. I mean, imagine if you had your license, they made you carry it around like a little lanyard with a little sleeve on your neck.
No, don't give him the idea.
Yeah.
Some
too
people,
much.
Maybe
some people
tomorrow.
agreeing that it's cool that they want it on their phone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
I never knew about this. Where is that says Legoland, Florida.
Yeah, there's one in New York, upstate.
Is there?
Yeah,
Not when I was a kid.
not too far.
would've
No,
gone.
hell no. Not when I was a kid either, dude.
If there was one upstate New York when I was a kid, I would have been there. So like
Wow.
Family would've moved to New York.
Legoland New York Resort
wow.
in
Yeah.
Goshen, New York.
Goshen.
Dude, it's got its
It
own
says
hotel.
temporarily closed.
The word
for
resort
the
and
winter.
Goshen just don't really go well together. Have
No.
you been to Goshen?
Goshen?
It's right near Monticello.
Is it really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh.
Resort.
Get,
Like, think Monticello, you think resort.
get two birds stoned at once, A little Monticello, a little Legoland.
Little casino.
Wow.
Driver's
Legoland,
license really come in.
Florida is in Winter Haven, Florida.
Ooh.
Wow.
Winter Haven. That's like what? How cold does it get in Winter Haven?
Probably 71.
Sounds north of the wall.
Yeah. All right, you ready to kick this off, Josh?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Josh Garcia, and this is the Revival Motoring Podcast. As always, I'm joined by Chuck Hu
It's me.
and Corey.si.
Hello.
In studio, we have our good friend, Mr. Peter Holdreth.
How you doing?
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here.
I got no job, dude. I got laid off this morning. I'm like, hey, I wonder what the boys are doing.
Oh, this morning?
Yeah, this morning.
Oh, that's cold.
The title name,
Wow, no loss long. I don't really care.
the past two times you've been on has been Pete from X and Pete from X. Now it's just Pete from the Where. We don't know where.
Yeah,
from out there,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Sort
Let's
that
figure it out. We're going to
TBD.
hash it out right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
Dude,
Should
Pete's
be.
straight out of a vet is where
Yeah.
Pete came from. Dude.
Should be,
true.
should be Pete from Legoland.
Yeah.
I
Should've
think
been.
there's an
Shoulda, woulda,
opportunity
coulda.
there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's not too far.
No.
We're going to talk to him about his recent adventures, kind of get his feel for the industry overall, see what happens, and we'll catch up both, with the boys a little later on, see what's going on, all that good stuff. So thank you for tuning in. If you can go to our website, revivalmotoring.com, where you can sign up for the B4B, because that is what helps us keep these
Just water.
Okay.
lights on and the water's flowing. Do that. Sustainable donation. We appreciate it. There is some merch up there as well. That merch is going to look a little bit different, hopefully by the end of this upcoming weekend, so I can finally get some designs cranked out and changed out. So we appreciate everybody who's already snagged something on there. So we're not going to get right into callbacks. We can get right into talking to Pete, because we have a lot to kind of discuss. Figured we'll hit that first or at the beginning of this here episode, and see where we end up. So Pete, you alluded to it. You no longer have a job as of this morning.
No, I got laid off this morning along with a couple other people. I guess I should I'll introduce myself. I've been on this a few times, and some people seem to recognize me sometimes.
Yep.
This was like years ago.
I
I
was-
was in college. I remember when you guys called me. I was sitting at my dinner table in my apartment, just doing this interview with you guys. And this was before the pandemic, for sure.
Yeah. It
It was
was.
a while ago.
Yeah.
And just kind of kept in contact. And then I eventually moved up to Boston. And I was like, hey, you guys are I didn't realize you were in Rhode Island. I was
Within
like, "Oh."
driving distance.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, you want to hang? You're like, yeah, come down for sure. And I was like,
yeah.
oh, okay. And then I've been on a couple times since then, and I worked. So I started doing this satire blog about cars called Bald Tires.
October 31st, 2019.
Wow. So it wasn't wow.
Halloween.
Wow, little did we know how much the world would change in
Yeah, oh my
less than
God.
6 months.
God.
That was back when COVID was just funny.
It was,
It was. I
yes.
guarantee there's a COVID joke on that episode.
There-
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I was doing that, and then I got into the industry and worked at the Drive for a few years. And about a year and a half ago, started working at Motor One, and just petered out. I never felt like I was a great fit there. I will keep it professional. Won't talk too much about the nitty gritty, but yeah, I got laid off this morning and working on some other stuff. I already got a few things in the mix. Getting a new gig covering cars and all that kind of stuff. So
Hell yeah.
yeah.
So
Just,
I was gonna say, like, the good thing is you're still gonna be in the car industry.
Yeah,
which
as
is
I
great.
said before, nice having friends.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, for sure.
You meet so many people. It's a really automotive journalism is a very tight knit group.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if tight knit is the right word. It's a small industry, I'll say.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's like you end up knowing all those people who have connections, and even though it's like not a great business, like people will throw you a bone. And so yeah, if you have friends, it's a good industry to be in.
And like you said, you broke into it a few years ago, so now you're a bit of a seasoned veteran now.
I wouldn't say that. I don't know if imposter syndrome is common with you guys, but I've had it the entire time.
We've
all the
been
time.
we've been doing it for
Yeah.
we've been impostering for 6.5 years.
Wow,
Something like that.
I think me too. I know. I don't know if I've been doing it for 6.5 years, but I've been imposter syndroming the whole time, and I've always kind of feel like I'm going to be fired. So actually getting fired is just like, yeah, whatever, fine. This job is amazing. It's like a fairy tale job the whole time. It's like, you firing me? It's like, yeah, I shouldn't be a job in the first place. You kidding me?
yeah, you
I just
mean
read about cars. Like, they fly me places to drive
mean-
cars. It's
Joke's
just-
on you. I had the time of my life.
You guys are the goofs who paid me all this
Yeah,
time.
really.
You let me do this for 2 years.
Like,
what are
I
you talking
was
about?
actually
Yeah.
making decent money. It's like, no, I knew that, so that didn't add up. So you're firing me now? That just kind of makes sense.
Okay, you finally caught on.
Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah. It's like, oh, we're paying this guy this much? It's like, shit. Oh, yeah, they finally caught wise to that. I guess they accounted for the last year finally. And they're like, oh, wait.
What, again, nothing bad about Motor One by any means, but like the grind of a online motoring journalist, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just pumping stuff out, right?
I used to be. So at the Drive, I was covering news every day, and that's like 2 or 3 posts a day. I started doing nights, and that's like 5 posts a night. That's like one every hour, every night, every weeknight, starting from like 5 to like 10 o'clock.
Oh,
That's how you start.
woof! You're like a fireman at that
Yeah,
point.
literally.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Dude.
You're just throwing shit at the wall. It's kind of fun because like it's late at night, no one's really reading.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
long
yeah. You're
content.
just hammering
So
through.
you're just like, yeah, whatever. You like throw your own opinion in there. You wake up the next morning, just some comment like, you fucking idiot. It's like, delete. See ya. So whatever. So it's like, it's kind of fun. And so when I went to Motor One, I wanted to get off news because it is a grind.
Yeah.
And so journalism is, when I first started, Patrick George Jalopnik, and was my boss at the Drive, was like, journalism is a trade like any other. You have to learn stuff on the job because I don't have to green journalism. You'll learn about it. There's skills you need to develop. And I'm like, shut up, Patrick. This is not a job. And but it actually is, learning to do a good interview and learning how to do good reporting, all that kind of stuff. Those are actual skills. And like all the journalists who are worried about AI taking their jobs, basically, I guess, don't understand that part of it. It's like reporting can't be replaced by AI. Being there can't be replaced by AI.
Right.
Analysis can't be replaced by AI.
Establishing the relationships with the manufacturers
Right,
and those people who are in, hey, I throw you a bone, you throw me a bone. That's a thing.
Exactly. That requires people, and you can't do that with fucking Midjourney or whatever. You can't-
Right.
That doesn't work like that.
I worked my tail off trying to get us a Toyota Supra for like a year and a half,
Yeah.
and we got one. And then that person was probably fired for giving us one. So I've never had anything else after that. But it's just like, right. It's just,
And
there's a rapport.
And even that's one of the parts that I'm like not so good at is managing. That's like the guys who work at magazines are like really good at that, like working those relationships. Like, oh, do you have like contact a Porsche? Like, yeah, I was on the phone with Aaron last night. Like, about what, dude? His dog. It's like, why? Like, because they're just good at that kind of thing. And
Right.
I got a lot better at interviewing and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of the learning process for me. And now that I'm going into a different gig, I'm going to consider doing other stuff and trying to hone those skills and leveraging all of it. It's
Yeah.
like, again, we were talking about before. It's like if you're curious and you like just barely give a shit,
Yep.
like you're already there. Like
That even an ounce of ambition
right.
can drive you a long, for lack of a, forgive the pun, can drive you a very far, long distance.
Yeah, because like if you have that little bit of ambition, it's like you start to see things that should be happening,
Mhm.
they're not happening, and you want to end up in a place where they can happen. And if you don't have that, you're just gonna be stuck.
Yep.
And I'm kind of casual about being laid off because like I still have a lot of that stuff. I'm doing projects that I've gotten, money and sponsorship for on my own accord. So it's like none of that's gone. It's like they didn't sign up for Moto One; they signed up for me.
Yep.
So it's like that's very comforting. So yeah, I mean, it's all about being a good personality and all kind of things you have to learn in this industry is like being a people person, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And then translating that to ultimately the online medium.
Yeah.
Like I believe you want to kind of keep people engaged and entertained.
Yeah, or just I was gonna say suck Google's cock constantly. I guess I did say it. Or do that, which is like actually a bold,
Please the
workable strategy.
work the balls.
I didn't I'm not one of those guys who was like X company's a monopoly. They should be shut down. I wasn't before I started working in journalism. Not that it became like a huge liberal or anything. It's because so much of it is determined by Google, and there's a whole industry called search engine optimization.
Yeah.
There's like getting your shit on
I was
Google.
going to say companies built on
And
just
it's like,
that.
oh, so when you mean search engine, you mean like a bunch? No, you mean
It's
Google.
one, singular.
These people indirectly work for Google is what they do.
Yeah.
And Google like how changes their algorithm. They don't tell anybody how they changed it. They don't tell anybody what you should do. They just change it. And it seems like it always goes worse for you as a site.
Right.
And you're just scrambling to figure out how to get back on Google's good side.
Yeah, they're like the mob. There's like be a shame if something happened to your website.
Yeah.
Be a shame if someone changed the rules last night.
Literally. It's a shame if you were buried under 30 people who paid us to be
It's
there.
crazy.
It's a shame.
Right.
They were paying their protection money and you weren't.
It's a
Right.
Yeah, it's protection. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really is when you think about it.
It is, dude.
It
We
just-
deal with it at our
literally.
job.
And it's so blatantly obvious.
I'm sure you guys see that on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's some videos
Oh,
hit,
yeah.
others don't. It's like it's a total why? Why? And no one will tell you why.
Yeah.
None of our videos hit, but
Right. They're more
we're
of a
working on it.
They're-
That's like the articles I read about batteries. No one cares. No, that's not Google, buddy.
it's more of a light jab. It's just
Little
it's
shadow
right. It's like Joe Biden just boxing.
Hey, give me 10%.
Right.
You know?
What did who Shane Gillis is? What did he say about Biden? I feel like he's the first president you could punch.
You could
assassinate.
punch
You
to
could punch his ass with it.
It's 100% true. But yeah, I don't know. We always try and figure it out or
Yeah.
just kind of get on whatever the new train is, and it's difficult, man.
The the ambition is there.
Yeah.
It's just
You have to have that.
maybe we're not harnessing it in the correct direction.
Yeah.
But for maybe it's idiocy, we could continue to try.
Yeah.
No, I think you have to continue to try. You see, go back to Shane Gillis. He had that podcast for like 10 years.
Right,
before
which
he,
is
like,
crazy.
I never managed to get on
Yeah, I mean,
SNL.
SNL found out.
Yeah.
And it's only done good things for him.
Right. Yeah, that never came back to bite him. No, but I mean, it's like clearly, it's like they tried to cancel him. And as it turns out, unfortunately for those people who tried to cancel him, he's actually funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Unbelievable.
He
He's
figured it out.
That cream was going to rise to the top. No matter what.
And it's like, I feel like you guys have a great thing here. And I feel like you guys are staying at it. And that's all you can do.
We're
And it's
just
like,
a
6 more years, we're gonna fucking.
we're like
We're gonna really crack this thing.
6,000 more years of revival motoring pod
like a fine
by
wine.
children's children.
Yeah.
You know how many more tchotchkes going to be in here?
Oh my God.
We're gonna have to move out.
Pete gets in here like, hey, you guys got a lot more stuff in here today. Boy, do we ever.
Hey,
A lot more shelves since last
at least we
Yeah.
get tchotchkes.
Yeah, we got if we have anything, it's
We
knickknacks.
got tchotchkes.
It's
The
knickknacks.
gizmos are key.
Yeah. So a lot of it's crowdsourced.
Yes.
I-
Matter
So
of
they're
fact,
gonna say crap, which is also crap.
Another
don't-
C word.
there's really nothing in here that I think I may
I
have
mean,
purchased.
I made the prayer candle.
Yep.
Yeah,
KB Prayer Candle. Shouts.
I made the Chris Harris photo.
yeah.
Yes, you did a good job on that.
You really gotta.
Yeah.
Don't want to come down on us.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think everything else has kind of been sent
Has
in.
been sent in or brought in.
Yeah,
or
feel
whatever.
free to send us shit. We'll put it in the shot.
We'll put it on the knickknacks shelf.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of room over here.
Yeah. There's
I
a
would
lot,
love-
a lot of free space.
I would love to meet Chris Harris. That whole British
Ugh.
automotive journalist crowd is like a different breed.
Unbelievable.
Those guys are like hustlers because the industry over there is so much smaller and there's so much less money in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But all the dudes
You
there.
really have to
Yeah.
like.
Do you think there's not a lot of money in the
They're all-
US side?
They're all on one island. Just-
Literally,
it's
they're
just-
like tearing each other's fucking throats
You
out for
should-
jobs.
He just put out that video, the new M5, and he's like, they want to let me drive it on the track. I'm shooting it on my iPhone. I'm not putting money into it. It's just like, this is the fucking best.
Yeah, it's like you gotta hustle like that because no one else is gonna give it to you.
yeah.
I
Like
guess
the-
it's kind of the same thing you're talking about, like the Shane Gillis thing. It's like he's just kind of, no matter what they do, because he's so talented,
Yeah, right.
you can't bring him down.
Bill Burr said the same thing. He's like, "What are you gonna do? You're gonna make me stop doing stand up in TJ Maxx?" No. He's like, "I'm not gonna stop doing it." So like, you can't stop. What are we like? Oh yeah, I can't go on Conan anymore. Who cares? It's like
yeah.
It's like Bob Saget, R.I.P. Like, I remember we had Tyler Rodgeway, who used to do the Warzone, who still does the Warzone stuff over at the Drive.
Yeah.
Separate sites now, but he was like, last time I saw Bob Saget do stand-up was in an airport. It's like, he just loves stand-up.
That's it,
People
yeah.
thought that was like a sad thing. When I heard that, I was like, man, that guy just loves the game. It's
Love it.
like,
I was gonna say,
you
love
can't
the
take
game.
that away from him. It's like, dude, if the dude's in fucking LaGuardia doing a gig,
Just rip it.
you could cancel the shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
LaGuardia's going to book him. It's like, you know?
Yeah, he ain't gonna stop.
No, absolutely not.
He never did. He hammered all the way through.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hammered too hard at the end.
Yeah.
Rest in power,
R.I.P.,
baby.
man.
Rest in power.
Rest
It's a
in power.
big
That's
rest in
right.
power.
Yeah.
It's a big loss.
I saw him live. He was fucking fantastic.
Really?
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was unbelievable.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pete, before Chuck got here, we were kind of talking about different display stuff, and I didn't want to dive into it too much because I want to ask you more while we're actually recording. The BMW display, you said you did this during, was it your college or high school project?
Well, so BMW has that for content, the display thing with the
Yes.
the one, the windscreen.
So we talked about it last week, the windscreen display.
yeah.
We were all curious about it. We saw photos of it. We looked at it. Haven't seen it in person. You saw it in person?
Yeah. So I was down there. They had this thing called Test Fest. They renamed it in recent years, but they get a bunch of cars down at their Spartanburg factory and a bunch of new technology. They just like let you drive the cars, put you in a room with it.
Yeah.
I got sick when I was there. I got laryngitis, which sucked.
Oh shit!
But I got to try that out and drive. a
Hold
couple
on. They
cars.
put you in a room with it?
Well, they have like, so they had this whole, they have like an event space at their factory.
Okay.
They had like 4 rooms. They had all this other random crap set up, and that was one of the things. They had
I just picture like, here's your room. You have it for a half hour with this
Yeah.
car by yourself.
You have one
Just
half
like,
hour?
what
Yeah.
the? Yeah, right, exactly. You'll do what you want.
There's a
Timing
cup
you?
on the
Right.
table.
It's just
Please leave your sample on the way out.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just right. The,
The
you know,
door in the wall. You put it in when you're not.
Yeah.
it's how thorough are we testing these cars? It's just,
It's unbelievable.
right.
If we find anything we would not like. Oh yeah, they had like a setup, a VR thing to try it out. Yeah, well, like you're talking about what I did in college and
Yeah, how it was the same.
yeah. So I did this when I was in college. So I wanted to design cars, and I found out that wasn't like a real job because I wanted to do like the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, you can do like the outside or like the wing mirror. And I was like, well, I don't want to do that. I want to do the whole thing. Like I want to pick the engine and everything. They're like, no, you can't. There's no job for that. I was like, fuck. And it's like I realized that like halfway through my industrial design career. And then
worse.
Yeah.
That really it's just no. You don't get the whole
no, like
the whole thing.
Like,
You
oh no,
just-
you don't get the whole thing.
Wait
You-
a minute, guys.
The sunroof button.
Yeah, they're like, see the shifter? It's like you could do like the button on the shifter. And I was like,
This makes so much
Maybe
sense.
the
This,
Mozart.
this explains how there's a sniffer for Nissan.
right.
Because that dude went in there all gung ho. I'm just gonna design the next GTR.
Yeah.
Actually, sir, you're just gonna sniff the seats and
I
tell
know,
us what they
dude.
fucking smell
Some
like.
of that shit is just unbelievable. And I was like, so I realized that, but I still wanted to do like, so they're like, so you can't do a car for your capstone. I was like, which is like your thesis.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, fuck. So I was like, well, can I do an interior and like base a specific concept around the interior that would make it more usable? And they're like, yeah, you can do that. I was like, okay. So what I looked into was, I was like, well, everyone knows that you have all that shit in your car that's like beeping at you when you change try, like swerve out of your lane or when you try parking. And studies show it doesn't actually make people better drivers. They just lean on it. And the systems aren't perfect, so they end up running into shit anyway. So I was like, well, how do you actually make someone more focused, like on driving? And did a lot of research and looked into it, and I found out that like, yeah, it's like old cars, like they have more visibility. It's like passive stuff. It's like if you're interacting with infotainment, like dude, it's like, you know, everybody now has a fucking iPad kid. They need the screen, right? Like in your Tesla.
Yep.
You gotta have the iPad.
Gotta.
No one will buy a car without an iPad.
Yep.
Where do you put the iPad to minimize the fact that it has to be there? And the answer is as close to the windscreen as possible. And I looked into that and I emailed a bunch of people and found out that. So I designed this whole car interior that was basically like that. And mine is not exactly the same as what they are doing, obviously. And there's some things I don't like about what they're doing, but their thing is like pretty spot on in a lot of things of what I found out. So I walked into the presentation with them, and they had these 2 guys. They had the engineer who develops the back end, and they had the designer. And I was like, man, this is like, makes a lot of sense. I'm like, can I show you guys something? And they're like, yeah. And then I just showed them like this setup I had. They're like, oh yeah, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. It's like, okay. I guess I feel a little bit vindicated. Like, you know, like, I don't know. Like, I didn't ever get the chance to do it, but it seems like they found it out, and
it's
I was
proof
right.
Of, proof of concept.
Yeah,
like
like,
5
oh,
to
that's
6 years
cool.
later by
Yeah.
a giant manufacturer.
Yeah.
Should have trademarked that fucking thing.
Yeah, right. I actually never finished the project because I graduated in 2020.
Bastards.
Oh,
So we just left for spring break and we never came back. Got my diploma in the mail.
Oh my
damn,
God.
Dude, I'm just waiting for the day when they're like, "We're the kids in 2020 didn't get to graduate, and we should come back and have them graduate." I'm not going to that shit. I don't even know where my diploma is. I haven't
Graduation.
used that in 6 years.
Graduation reunion.
Yeah. They're gonna do that. Like, you get to walk in graduation finally. He's like, I didn't want to walk in the first place.
Yeah,
I'm
I was gonna go there. So.
33.
Yeah, like, yeah, dude, I have kids, bro. I'm not going to that. What are you talking about?
Shit to do.
Yeah.
So what do you know, the landing spot next isn't, fruition hasn't happened yet entirely, but do you have an estimate on timeline? Are you going to take a couple weeks off?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I learned that when I started my first job doing nights at the drive. I graduated on like Friday, and on Monday I was working, so I never actually got time off. And then last time I switched jobs from the drive to Motor One, a big reason why I actually left the drive was because I bought a house and I had to move, and I needed a couple weeks to move. So I didn't fucking hire. I'm not hiring movers. It's me and my girlfriend's dad and my dad just moving shit. I needed the time to move, dude. I'm moving
man
into a whole
shit.
house. Yeah. So it's like I didn't really get the time off. Like, I wasn't sitting around my underwear like, smoking cigarettes. I was like busting my ass. So I definitely want some time to sit around in my underwear and smoke cigarettes.
Nice.
And so yeah, I'm gonna do that. But shit costs money. So
Yeah.
I am very excited to get back into it because there's a lot of things in the industry where you just don't get the opportunity to do. Because it's like the people holding the keys have preconceived notions. They've been in the industry for a while. They think they know how it works. They think they know what to do, and most of the time they actually don't, which is kind of shocking, but we discussed that before. Most people really don't.
Yeah.
And just a little bit of ambition that I just want to try it.
Yeah.
And I've never gotten to try these things that I want to do. So yeah, I definitely want to get back into it. And there's other projects that I'm working on that I want to move further and want to try and maybe get out of the industry and do something like that if I could get some money for it. So yeah, I'm working a lot of angles right now.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Having the okay to try stuff is huge.
Yeah.
Because it can be very discouraging, especially if
Yeah.
or for a company where I know we can't write about that or this, especially from someone like you.
Yeah.
Again, Bald Tires. That's what got our attention because it was so goddamn funny.
Yeah. And that's like, and no one will do that. And because they all want to go on the press trips and stuff, and they don't want to get bad with automakers. And, when I started that, I did it because the auto industry was so not funny. And it
Right.
should be funny.
Right.
You ever seen Dodge's CEO? They just rehired that guy to run Ram. He's a fucking meathead. He's crazy. I loved him to death for it. It's like, dude, he's such a character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to make fun of that guy. He'd probably think it was funny too.
Right.
He's self-aware. And it's like, there's so many people like that, and no one's talking about it. It's like, why? Like, the car industry is such a funny place. There's so many characters, like Henrik Fisker. I can't tell a story publicly about, I wanted the Fisker Ocean, like, prototype drive in Austria.
Yep.
Henrik Fisker was just such a character.
Yeah.
And like his wife was like the CFO. We were just like sitting on this test track in Austria, just like freezing our asses off as this car goes on the track. We're just like shooting the shit. And he's like funny and like relatable. Obviously, you can tell how he talks all these investors into giving him money to make cars.
Yeah.
Right.
He's
Just
like a really charming, funny guy.
charismatic. Yeah.
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 So what? You tell me I can't make fun of Henrik Fisker? He's hilarious. It's like, so, and I didn't realize, I realized that at first, and I was doing it, then I stopped doing it. And then again, I realized how unfunny the car business was.
Right. Right.
I was like, man, and there are funny people in it too. They just can't, like,
There-
Zach Clapman from Smoking Tire.
Yeah.
He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
We're always like shooting shit. Whenever we see each other, we're shooting the shit. We should do this. We should do that. It's like, if you got us two in a room together for too long, we just like quit our jobs and do that. It would be bad, dude. Like, it would be a bad scene. And it's like, I want to do more stuff like that. And one of the opportunities that I might do is like, could be something more like that. And it could be really fun, and it would be risky, but I think I might, if it pans out, I might be excited to do that.
I think yes, go, because if it's even remotely entertaining, again, for such a, Corey and I were talking about this before you arrived as well. There are people who put out some content that the content itself, you look at it and go, oh, that's an incredible specimen, but they make it boring.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And it's just like, this could be good if you just showed your personality,
Right.
or had a personality. Or, it's just like, it's okay. The lightheartedness is okay. That's what makes, I think, we're still here after 6 years, whatever. The personalities help,
Yeah.
the entertainment.
Yeah. And you think
That's
that
what
would
makes it fun.
you'd think that would be a bigger part of the picture with social media,
Right.
where it's like all these people, like individual brands basically, but a lot of them are actually really fucking boring people, which is like shocking.
Yeah.
It's like they're good at making content, not really good at presenting it or whatever. They're just good at the process.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're nice people and whatever, but it's like, and some of them are really YouTube people. I've met them and they're really funny. But it's like a lot of them just like kind of like they never go home. They're always on a plane. They shoot the content. They publish the content. They leave. It's like, dude, you talk to them privately. It's like, dude, you're funny, man. Like, I don't see this coming through ever.
Where's
like,
it?
yeah.
Let this shine.
He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I got to fly to the fucking Honda Passport next week, and if I talk shit about that, no way they're gonna let me on Ridgeline. It's like,
fucking cares about the Ridgeline.
yeah, here, listen, fuck the Ridgeline.
which I mean is exactly relevant to something we were talking about at the top. Why do we like Chris Harris?
Right. Yeah.
It's because he's himself.
Yeah.
And
And
he
the
just-
audience appreciates that. And
Yeah.
you can drag that audience anywhere.
Right.
It's like if your audience is like, fucking Joe Schmo at Honda, it's like, yeah, he's like, he's an asshole.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
right.
no wonder you're not funny.
The
It's like-
consumer, right? If you don't give a shit about the Honda Ridgeline consume or as a consumable product, then okay, that's not your audience.
Yeah,
Just
right.
look for something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you? That's okay.
Yeah. Please do you.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I hang out with these people. It's like, dude, you're great. Why you like this?
Right. This isn't you on there.
that's not
Online.
you.
It's just not the yeah.
Harris has a picture of it. He just keeps quitting podcasts and doing different shit.
Yeah.
Like his
Which is
last
right.
video was like,
Doing whatever.
he was driving like a 959. It's like, okay, this is where I wish I had a job that I made a lot of money.
Yeah. It's like people
it's
just
like,
like Chris Harris.
This dude was on top of the fucking world. And he's just like, yeah, fuck it. Now I'm back here.
Yeah.
It's
Whatever.
amazing. Can't
Yeah.
take that from you.
Yeah. Exactly.
We just lost our Ridgeline owner in the chat. Sorry,
Oh, man.
Kendra.
I'm sorry. I didn't
We
mean,
love the first gen.
I
We're
didn't
talking
mean-
about the third gen.
Yeah. I didn't mean that.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. He'll be okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And not fuck the Ridgeline as the vehicle, but like
That
it's okay to miss that opportunity
Yeah.
to like.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like,
They're still gonna sell them whether this person went there to say that the seats were comfy.
yeah. Right.
It doesn't matter.
It's like and for speaking from personal experience, like my parents will be like, I'll go I was at their house for New Year's, and my dad's like, oh, my son writes about cars, and everyone's like, oh, we gotta talk about cars because everyone buys cars, right? It's like, what car should I buy next?
Oh,
And it's
good
like,
time.
well, what are you gonna do with it? I don't know, drive it. It's like, yeah, so that's like every car, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
all
like,
cars are built for.
turns out.
Starting out nice and
Yeah.
easy.
yeah. And then it's like, and then at the end of the day, like, I just don't buy the kinds of cars that these people buy. Even if I give them advice, it's like, it's not good advice.
Yeah,
Like, dude, look outside. Like, I had a fucking Cobalt, and then like the Kirkland brand Miata, and I have a C7. It's like, I can't tell you which fucking Ford Escape to buy.
Is going to be the best.
I
for
can't tell you
Like,
which good trim you should buy on that thing, dude.
It's people like that just can't make their own decisions.
Right? They,
in
they don't know
general.
what they,
They
wanna
almost
buy
want to
in
be
the first
told what to
place.
buy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Yeah,
Which is just
it's an
because-
emotional purchase, right? It's all vibes based.
right.
It's like,
right.
why do people buy like like a lot of the like Mazdas, for instance? A lot of those like cars besides the Miata are like the worst cars in their class. So why did you buy this, dude? Or, like that new Volkswagen EV, the
ID.
ID4, and it was like it's like expensive, has shitty range, the infotainment sucks,
Yeah.
and you see a lot of people driving them.
Yeah,
You
It-
do.
It is objectively the worst car in its class, and subjectively.
yeah.
And sometimes I see someone driving it, and I'm like, I've been tempted to ask.
What's wrong with you?
Because I do that. I do that shit. One time I was at the grocery store and I talked the guy into buying a specific flavor of Gatorade. And my girlfriend was
Hold on.
afterward.
What flavor was he trying to get?
It was that green shit.
Oh my
It was
God.
like the what was it? It's
Yeah,
like
cut
kiwi
that.
cucumber.
Yes.
And, he,
Yeah.
he reached for it, and I'm like, "Don't do it, dude." That's literally what I said. I'm like, "Don't do that." And my girlfriend's like, he was like pushing me, like, "What did you say?" And I was like, "He's like, why not?" I'm like, "What do you think it is?" He's like, "I don't know, like green apple." I'm like, I thought the same shit, dude. And then I'm like, "It's not green apple. It's like cucumber lime. It tastes like ass." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he's like kind of laughing now, and I'm like, at this point, I'm like kind of questioning myself. What am I doing talking to this guy? I'm like, yeah, it's just not that good. I don't know. And then I just walk away. So it's like with the ID4, I flash back to the Gatorade. I don't want to ask why.
It's just right. It's
It's
just
like, man, you ever driven a fucking Lyric? That car is sick. And you bought that, dude? What are you doing? You the people who drive like the Solterra too, that Subaru EV.
yeah.
Oh,
They offered me one on loan when I was out in Port. I was visiting my girlfriend's parents in Portland. I usually try to get a press car out there to test it out. It's useful to have another car when there's a bunch of family there because I usually go for Christmas.
Right.
So one of the offerings was the Solterra, and it was cold in Portland. And I was like, so how much range does Solterra have when it's cold? 100 miles.
oh.
And it's like, so that car would be more of a pain to own than actually have it. Like, it would be worse to have that. I'd be worse off having that car
Yeah,
Right.
than not having
It's
it.
better
more of a
Ubering.
problem.
Yeah. And then you see people fucking buying them.
Yeah.
It's like, man, what are you thinking, bro?
They're just being led down a path.
Yeah, right. It's an emotional. They go in, oh, this salesman, this is an electric. You just have
Yep.
to plug it in. Yeah. It's like, oh, shit, sure. I can get a lease for this for $100 to giving those things away.
Yeah.
You can lease them for $100 a month, literally. Like, why the fuck not? Well, because you can lease a bunch of other good electric cars for $100 a month.
I think it's the thing with the ID4 as well. I think for a while they pushed them at like $199 a month.
Yeah, dude, you can literally there's some deal going on in Colorado where they fucking pay you to take. They don't let that. They don't pay you to take it. It's free. Sorry, the Fiat 500e.
I was
Yes.
gonna say,
Yep.
yeah.
Colorado has a state incentive. There's federal incentives. You just have to pay like tax and title. It's like $1,200. That's what you're paying off.
Yeah.
Are you taking out a loan for that, dude? That's like financing a pizza. It's like, dude, just pay the $1,200 cash. You get this car for free, bro.
Yeah.
And you're done for
You're
like
done.
at least a year.
Yeah, you get a free car.
Yeah.
I think we have a friend in Utah who sent a thing. Utah was doing it as well.
Oh, really?
Do you know a guy that? Did he tell me?
I did actually. So
Best story.
my father, he's actually in the chat somewhere in there. My father has a friend who works for the FCA, and for some reason he ended up with a 500e as like a loaner.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I just wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. He's like, it's just
working for
an awful vehicle. It's just operationally it's bad.
would not take it.
Charging
for free.
wise, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's the range is abysmal.
Yeah.
Everything. It's just like, why does this thing exist?
Yeah. And then you look at the actual sticker and it's like $36,000.
You're like,
Like, buddy, I'll sell you my C7 grand.
yeah, unbelievable.
It's just like, yeah, it is unbelievable.
I think a lot of the cost of like I ended up in the Model 3 because of a cost, just cheap, right?
Right.
But it's a good car.
Yeah, the charging, it's like,
Yeah.
I would say
It works.
With the exception of Tesla, because they have the charging down and
Yeah.
other components of the vehicle well too. This first generation of EVs we're gonna look back on it and it's like, that was so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Why did we do, like the Hummer EV is a prime example.
God.
Man, this thing weighs 9,200 pounds. And for what? Why did we do that?
Talk about a vehicle that just contradicts itself.
Yeah, right.
It's just
It's
wait a
like,
second.
well, now that you have to drive it 50,000 miles to actually offset the carbon that you produce making it,
Yeah.
like you could lease a TRX for that same amount of carbon. We did all the math for that. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And it was like, and people are leasing them. I'm not buying them, they're leasing them because they're like, not great cars. And they're like not good electric cars. They're actually kind of fun. But it was like, yeah, well, so not even going to drive it past the lease period. The carbon is not even going to get offset. It's like you've like, oh my God.
I was talking about that. You know, they bring back like the free supercharging on the Teslas, and it's
Yeah.
like, if you could like get an inverter and power your house on your Model S, you could have electricity free for years.
Yeah.
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 I mean, don't even drive the thing. Just
Right,
drive
just
to the
use
charger,
that.
charge it up, power you up. The battery packs are fucking big.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge.
It's
Huge
way cheaper
battery
than a
pack.
generator.
It's a good idea.
I'm thinking about it, though.
big-
And it's mobile.
The biggest pain in the ass is just getting the electrical hooked up.
Yeah, and I don't think we get some creative electrician Ridgeline owners. They could probably make that happen for
We
me.
got some creative homeless people that somehow have electricity
This
and
guy steals
running water.
copper. He
Instead
Yeah.
of like it's the Tesla Power Wall, it's like the Tesla Power Wheels.
Dude, yeah, just park. Why is the Model S parked right next to your house? Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it, man. What, can you see what percent it's on?
Hey, check on the app.
I gotta take a shower. Can you check?
Right.
Baby, can you bring the Model S down to the supercharger station?
I want to make sure my water's hot.
Don't make that smoothie. I gotta go charge the car. 5 minutes. I'll be right
Baby,
back.
I don't want to use the grid today.
Come on.
Unbelievable.
No, please don't use a grid.
Did you? So you driven the Hummer EV?
Yeah, I drove the prototype when they first had it at Milford Proving Grounds.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy, a proving ground.
With their chief engineer who called me the wrong name.
Nice.
A nice guy, Al Oppenheiser. He did the 6th gen Camaro, smart guy.
Yep.
And I think it was because Patrick George, my old boss, crashed 6th gen Camaro famously.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Al was the guy in charge. And I think like name starting with P. Me and Patrick, we're both skinny white guys.
Yeah.
And Peter shows up from the same
He
publication.
just starts twitching.
Patrick, what's up, man? And I'm like, nothing much. I'm not gonna embarrass
Be
this
awkward,
guy.
right?
Yeah.
Be awkward when you
whatever.
just go along with it.
But yeah, it was really fun. The thing rides like a fucking aircraft carrier. It's crazy. We were like driving on these back roads and all these rutted roads and everything. So it's on 35-inch tires, air suspension, and it weighs 9,000 pounds. It's like a living room in there. It has a flat floor and everything. It's amazing. And it raises and lowers and it turns tighter than a Chevy Bolt. It's crazy. Very, very capable and impressive.
Right.
And it does 0 to 60 on all-terrain tires, which it spins all 4 of them
Yeah.
on tarmac in 3 seconds. It's
That's
a
crazy.
very impressive vehicle, but terrifying. You can't go faster than like 95 in it because the brakes will just cook. It's limited to like 95.
Yeah, I mean it's think about a 9,000 pound vehicle at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's
a meteor.
It's a
It's
missile.
like-
Yeah, at that it's a missile.
That's like the USS Constitution at like 10 knots.
Yeah.
Doesn't have as much kinetic energy as a Humvee V doing 60.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, unbelievable. Yeah, again, batteries are getting so much better so quickly. It's like cells now. There's cells coming out this year that are 20% better than existing cells that charge twice as fast.
What about
Insane.
is that extending the range as well, or
Yeah.
you know
So
just
they
just
have, like-
ability to?
So the metric is companies like Tesla uses 21700s, and the one Tesla uses like around 5 amp hours, and that's been the standard like forever. Because keep in mind the cell formats were all designed for electronics, so it's like we have these big cells and they have a lot of capacity, but they can't charge and discharge very much because they're for electronics. Doesn't really matter. But now they're coming out with these cells that have a high capacity and can charge and discharge quickly, and the capacity and charge and discharge capability are growing. So Molicel, who makes these cells, just announced they have a 7 amp hour and a 6 amp hour cell coming out, which instantly boosts for no cost. It's like it's more expensive initially, but in the same form factor for the same weight, the charge rate is twice, the charging current is twice,
Good Lord.
and the range, the capacity is what is the percentage in terms of 5 amp hours versus 6 or 7.
Yep.
So for the same volume, you get 10 or 20% more power, which is range for nothing.
Yep.
And the EVs are getting more efficient at the same time.
And it takes up the same footprint, et cetera.
It's the same exact cells. You could drop them into an old car if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So it's like they're going to get so much better in the next couple of years. These cars now are just going to seem literally stupid.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone's going to wonder why. Why do we make those? Why are we doing this?
Right. It's just we rushed into instead of like
Right.
eventually the technology is going to outpace the engineering,
Yeah.
and then inevitably, oh, cool, it'll finally catch up to everything that was said could be done.
Right.
That's why you lease them.
Yeah. That's why you lease.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All yours. Good luck
exactly.
with this piece of shit.
I've been asked that a million times. Well, why did you lease it?
'Cause I don't
It's
want
like,
it.
because in 3 years it's going to be like a stone.
Yeah, the
Essentially,
battery's
it's
gonna
gonna be-
around here. The battery's going to degrade.
Yeah.
If you leave it plugged in, the battery's going to degrade. It's like you don't want to. It's like it's not like people talk about it a lot about the end of life of these batteries.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that the batteries are useful no matter what. You can use batteries for fucking anything.
Mhm.
All these companies are building battery factories, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're going to double back on that investment." It's like, bro, there's fucking electric cooktops now with batteries in them.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, have you ever seen those? Actually, they put batteries in an electric cooktop and they charge the bank, and it's an induction top. And you put it on, it can put like 11 kilowatts into a pot, and it boils water in like 10 seconds. yeah.
It's insane. Yeah.
So batteries are useful,
Yeah,
no matter
yeah.
what, for grid storage or whatever. So it's not like the batteries are useless. It's just that putting them in cars sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. It's probably the most abusive thing.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah, because you have like server backups or whatever. Oh, you can calculate the kind of amperage it's going to draw
Yeah.
consistently, all that kind of
Right.
shit.
And you can maintain those.
Yeah, you can climate control them, all
yeah.
that kind of shit. So yeah, those batteries live good. Or if they're in California, they're practically climate controlled.
Yeah.
That's why some of the EVs in California, because they stay so consistent, they work so well there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah.
What is the standout worst vehicle you've driven? And since last time you were here, is there anything that stands out and is just, ooh,
Man, I'd have to think about that. But I think what made me most depressed to drive was the Corolla Cross. It was just the Corolla Cross. If you don't know, is basically like a smaller Rav4.
mm-hmm.
So it's like you can kind of imagine the buyer. I want a RAV4, but this is a little big, which is the buyer. The buyer itself is already a little depressing.
right. That train of thought is already.
And then
Starts
you
all the way down.
and then you drive it, and it's like, unfortunately, very competent. It's like, all right, so they're buying this thing, and they're getting a pretty good deal. Shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh man, it's like, so the people are buying this boring car, and it makes sense. It's like, oh fuck. And then you look at the way they arrange like the trims, and it's like, man, this makes a lot of sense. So like the whole thing is like, it's this very kind of normal, depressing car that just makes so much sense that normal people can't resist to buy it.
Right. And
it's
there's just no frill. It's just vanilla.
And then
you know.
it's like when you talk about electric cars, everyone goes, oh, the instant torque. Electric cars are so fast because they've never driven an actual performance car.
Yeah.
So they were driving a RAV4 before. It's like, oh, the instant torque. Yeah, it's like, you ever driven a fucking Camaro?
A V8. Right.
Yeah.
Anything with V8.
You ever driven
yeah.
a small block Chevy with a stick shift?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah. you ever put America behind your ass?
You
Yeah.
ever put your foot to the floor, dude?
Right.
It's like,
Right.
that's how
exactly-
it works, bro.
So they still make the CHR?
Yeah.
So it's in between these. I thought I figured it would have taken the place of the
Dude,
CHR.
it's crazy. They sold over 500,000 RAV4s last year.
Wow.
Wait,
The CHR and the Acrylocross aren't the same thing? Oh, no, but the door handles are in different places.
CHR is front wheel drive only in the United States.
Okay.
But they do sell an all wheel drive CHR in Europe. It kind of makes you
Obviously,
think about, right. Why is the Acrylocross even?
I mean, RAV4 looks like a downright unit there.
Yeah, dude, looking fucking super butch right there.
Super beefy. Yeah,
There's
it looks
dudes
like a
from Brooklyn
2500.
complaining about how high the hood is on that thing.
definitely.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that was just like, I don't know, the WRX, I was not, I'll get some, some hate for that.
No,
Yeah,
no, this
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
When I
No,
drove
we
the
were actually
WRX,
talking about that on the way over here. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, so I had driven one, the previous gen that was like had a tune and like a shifter and other things. It was fun. Comes into boost, it's like, let's fucking go, dude. And then I drove a stock new gen WRX in fucking Sicily, for what it's worth, on this old rally like circuit they had around the island. So it should have been amazing. It was just like shifter sucks, runs 12 pounds, doesn't feel turbocharged, rides like shit, can't tell it's all wheel drive. Oh man. Interior sucks.
It's just
I'm like, I'm trying to get some out of it.
it's just a yawn of a vehicle.
Yeah, and I'm like, and that was like a special trim of it too. And then after that, we
Oh.
drove the BRZ, which rips.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that was no good. And then it has that full diaper rear end. And then you guys kinda
So
dropped on
weird.
that one. Yeah.
Such a weird setup.
I haven't been able to drive a BRZ. Have you driven a BRZ?
No, I'm afraid to. I've talked shit about Subaru for so long, like I can't get in
What
one.
about an A86 or an 86? What do they
Oh,
call
I'll
it?
drive the Toyota one. Yeah,
The
those are great.
GT86,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've not driven one. No, I haven't driven one.
Neither have I.
I went for this is a stark, contrast from my normal.
Tell me
OEM
what for
car.
a ride in a fucking drift one.
I did with with Mike Lynch. That's what like
Oh, never mind. I went in Seamus's. That had a K24. It was great.
yeah, it's,
Jesus.
has anyone driven one besides you that was
in
like
stock. Yeah,
No, we
maybe
should
under
go.
warranty still?
No.
The Caesar Revival motor
matter-
has to go to dealers to test drive
Yeah.
cars.
Matter of fact, the closest I think we've got was at the New York Auto Show when we each sat in one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was about.
Are you interested
yeah.
in buying one? No, actually, we're reviewing it for a podcast. They'd
Yeah,
love
take,
that.
Take a couple steps back, buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know who I am? Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I just consistently hear great things.
Yeah, they're
about
supposed to
this
be
car.
great.
So I'm not a Subaru guy by any stretch of the word. I would actually describe myself as a Subaru hater pretty consistently.
Nice.
And
This is why you fit in.
Yeah, that's why it
And-
works.
And so I didn't want to like it. And but it's a Toyota, so I was like, oh, whatever, I'll give it a chance. And it's like, it's dimensionally closer to a C7 than it is to a Miata, first of all, in terms of
Interesting.
wheelbase and exterior dimensions.
Okay.
It has a pretty long wheelbase is over 100 inches, so it's pretty long, and it's very controllable. So it was raining when we were driving. Very tail happy, very controllable. They have LSDs. Motor revs to 75 and fucking feels like it.
Yeah.
Which is great. Shifter's nice, clutch is nice, seating position is good. Has rear seats you could stick people with no legs back there, or just shit. That's the shit zone, right? So it's like, I don't know, it's a nice package. They're cheap. My
Yep.
buddy has one. It's nice. His is like, has all the shit on it. You know what shit I'm talking about.
Yeah.
One flaps, shifter
Bunch
knobs.
shit.
Yeah. He has all the crap. So it's like, I don't know. They're cool. They're fun. They're not fast. It's like, that's the one thing. It's like, that's the one reason why I never bought a Miata. I went on vacation and I loved it. But I got back and I'm like, man, this thing is slow. And it's kind of the same with that. It's fun, but it's like, man, I would like if this had another 300 horsepower
Yeah.
And- as
Another 300.
on top of what it has.
Oh,
And as it turns out, there is such a vehicle. It's called the Chevrolet Corvette, and that's what and I don't know why that doesn't translate to so many people. Like, oh, I can't buy a Corvette. They're booming cars, whatever. It's like, dude, they fucking rip. You can get a C6 for $20,000.
Right. There's a sauce there.
Yeah, dude.
And there's a sauce that has worked for decades.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
Yeah.
man, it's awesome. And it's just so much car. Even in my car, I'm like, sometimes wish it had another 100 horsepower. That's just like nature of the
Easy.
beast, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Easy.
And they
Even on
make, and it's
eBay.
like, and the people who make Corvettes get it. They make the Z06, has
Yeah.
another 200 horsepower.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And they took
Yeah.
care of you.
Yeah, they're taking. Yeah,
They've
they're
they've
thinking of us.
they
dude.
did the work.
Yeah, and
Hell
then you go to the
yeah.
Miata and they're like, they add like 12 horsepower, and everyone's like, oh, finally 12 horsepower.
I mean, the new one, the most powerful one that was just debuted
It
at the
doesn't even
Tokyo
reach
Auto Salon or
200.
whatever. Yeah,
And they won't even sell it here.
It's crazy.
You go buy a 20-year-old vet, it's got double the horsepower.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
You can buy a C6 for like half the price of it. Dude, Miatas are in the 40s now, like the high trim ones. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Buy a fucking C6, beat the shit out of it.
Smoke that fucking
Yeah,
Miata.
dude. Fucking drop a gear. It's like, just smoke this dude. So that's what I don't. I've never understood that. It's like, don't those guys get that on the highway? It's like when I pull up next to you in a C7, you're in the BRZ. Are you still enjoying it?
How much fun are you having now?
When you're next to the guy at the car show with the fucking hot for teacher camshaft, He's about to make a fucking sandstorm in the parking lot.
Right. While listening to Sandstorm on the radio.
You're not thinking maybe I should try that?
Yeah.
Come on.
Maybe I'm missing out.
Yeah, maybe it's like, oh, that's too much power for the street. It's like, no, it's not.
You're not thinking, is this car
Yeah.
the same exact size as mine with double the horsepower, maybe more fun for less money?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, drop 10 grand on a turbocharger.
I know. It's like, it's like E46 guys or whatever. They're saying, oh, I got a set of Shrek cabs and the idle shit now, but I got another 12 horsepower. It's like $3 grand down in the airbox. It's like, dude, give up. Throw in the towel, man. Enough. First of all, it's like VHP guys. It's like, dude, buy an M3. Buy an M3. Buy an M3. It's like,
I've never understood the CHP thing.
well, I understand the sedan.
It stands for 0 extra horsepower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you get in the sedan, it's like, okay, they don't make a sedan M3. Sure, whatever. ZHP sedan's kind of cool. It's the coolest sedan you could get. Fine. ZHP coupes and convertibles, dude, buy an M3. It's like, oh, man, I love the way the ZHP rides. You know what rides like a ZHP?
M3.
An M3.
Yeah.
Man, I wonder what this car could use. Oh, like 100 horsepower? I wish it revved to 8. They make that.
It's
They
one of
make
those
that.
things where it's just like, it's a car that exists, and if I had it, I'd always think, oh, but there's still the other.
Right.
It's not like a top tier car. It
Right.
just it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, I was like a BMW guy forever. And I just started getting into like the junky American shit because all those magazines, all the dudes I used to work with at Motor One who were at Road and Track always said, you can't buy that car. You can't buy a Cobalt SS. The interior sucks. It's going to suck every day. It's not as good as a Civic Type R. Then I bought it and you put a tune on it and it rocks. It's like, man, yeah, you're right. The interior sucks. This thing rips.
Yeah.
This thing has Brembos. The steering is great. It torque steers like an ox, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, has no lift shift, makes turbo noises like a fucking Delta Integrale. Put snow tires on it, use point and shoot, has an LSD. Like, this rules. You told me not to buy it. I literally confronted those guys about that.
Yeah.
I was like, you told me not to buy that. And you told me not to buy the Sky. And then you're in an ND Miata and I'm gapping your brains out. And it's just as fun. Like, you can drive my car. It's just as fun. And they're like, yeah, sometimes yada, yada. It's like, dude, you're lying to these people.
Have you again the appease the manufacturer gods or,
Right.
or speak the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, as soon as you break that mold, just try it, bro.
Right.
That Cobalt was $4 grand. Just try it. It's like, worst case, you lose $1 grand on it. Just try it.
Right. Flip it and
So
have
stupid.
at it.
Yeah,
There's a buyer.
I flipped my Cobalt and I made money. And dude, I traded this guy to a dealer to buy my C7 for as much as I bought it for.
Stocks. Basically stocks.
Yeah, basically stocks.
Basically stocks.
Yeah. It's
You're
like,
out there gaining money.
He's doing a lot better than I am with my Rivian stock. Jeez.
Oh,
It's rough out there.
traded up to the C7 now, and it's just like
yeah, I was looking at
gapping
C6.
everybody.
I was looking at C606s too.
Yeah, we all were.
And I was just so afraid. It's overblown, right? But I was so afraid of the LS7 just blowing up, and me being like, just being a jerk off. It's like when I first started working in the auto industry, I felt like a jerk off. My girlfriend had a job at New Balance designing sneakers.
Yeah.
I get home and I'm like, I'll start work writing these little stories about cars. And it's like, man, if I lose this gig, even having it, I'm such an asshole. It's like, and it was like the same thing with the C6, man. If this blows up, Elena would have been like, you had to buy this special car for yourself, and now it's on the side of the road and a bunch of fucking pieces.
It's one of those. Look what you did, you little jerk.
Yeah, you fucking idiot. Like,
She's going to get you a real nice pair of sneakers to walk home in. though.
yeah, literally. Luckily, I got somebody for that. Shit. So yeah, I was like, and I drive a lot of long distance to see friends and stuff. And I sat in a C7. I'm like, man, this is like a quantum leap over the C6.
It really is.
Even the C8 is not much better than the C7 interior. So it's like, yes, it's kind of an easy decision, and I don't regret it at all. But I'd still like to buy a C6 Z06.
Yeah. How's the C7 been in the snow?
I haven't actually driven it in the snow because we haven't gotten that much.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
got the snow tires on it. They have those dudes now who have vans with a tire machine in them. They show up to your house and I did that. It was awesome.
Is there anyone around here who does that?
There's a guy in,
I believe
New
so.
Hampshire that does it. There's definitely, I think it's a pretty common
I
service.
was gonna say I think
Yeah.
there's it's like either Mass or Boston based one.
Yeah. So I got that done. They put the tires on and balanced them and everything in there, and it was great. And yeah, I've just been itching because I had when I had my M3, I had snow tires on it, and even just with an LSD, it's like great.
Yeah.
Like people won't tell you that. Well, it snows, right? You don't have all-wheel drive. You fucking crazy. It's like, well, it's like the big problem is when you have one wheel just kind of spinning. That's kind of
One
the
wheel
problem,
delivering
right?
all the power.
Yeah,
It just
that's the issue.
Yeah.
So when you have an LSD, it's like the world's kind of your oyster. like, you know, you drive carefully, of course, but, you know, you can just kind of fucking do it.
Right.
So I was like, I had that experience on my M3. I driven in my M3 with like 4 inches of snow on the road and worked fine. I'm fine. I'm still here. So like, I'll get snow tires for my C7. Sure.
Yeah.
And I want to drive around in the snow and do donuts and shit, of course. You know, that's another thing I don't get about Porsche owners is that they love these cars so much. They would fuck the cars if they could.
Oh, absolutely.
And then they put them away for the winter. Gotta play the way of the old girl. Corvette owners like this too, to be fair. It's like, dude, this rocks. C7s rock. Why are you putting it away?
Right.
Like 911s, they're great cars. You don't want to drive it in the winter? It's like, well, yeah. It's like, dude, they make snow tires for 911s. They don't make snow tires for C7s.
Yeah.
Drive it year round, bro. It's not going anywhere. You own it, you know?
You know, it was a nice.
So I'm going on tangents
Dude,
here.
on the way
No,
to
let
the,
it rip.
apologize.
Let it
Wait,
fly. No, let it fly.
on the way to the mountain, I saw a guy in a brand new white Ferrari.
Nice.
And I was like,
Get the fuck out of here.
I was like, you know what? If I had a Ferrari, I'd fucking drive it now too.
Yeah.
It was
Be
like,
like,
I
I'm
don't-
paying for this fucking thing.
I don't know what any of them are called, but it was like a cool looking one.
488 Pista.
It was a touring one. I think the motor was in the front of this thing.
Yeah.
White. I'm like, this guy was just like fucking drumming on the steering wheel. I'm like,
Dude, let's go.
passing him in the Lexus. I'm like, this guy's the fucking man. I
You'd
wanna
be
this
drumming
guy.
on the steering wheel too.
Fuck
and I was
yeah,
like-
dude. I drove that every day of my life. It's
Everyone's
not going to
like-
rust, and when it does, get rid of it.
I leave my car outside because my garage is full of shit. My girlfriend's pottery wheel. I got batteries and BMW bike engines.
Is well that when you guys film scenes from Ghost.
Yeah, you're going to have the ghost
The
room.
ghost
Could have the
room, yeah.
room.
Yeah, I gotta keep that intact.
Right.
So I was like, I don't put my car in the garage. People are like, you don't garage that thing? You fucking crazy. The paint's gonna get. It's like, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
So I love going. I was in a C7. I left the C7 Facebook group, but I used to just go in there and I would just send pictures of my car in an automatic car wash. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, dude, shut up, bro. Like, give me a fucking.
Just
you're
doing-
ruining your paint.
Doing normal car
Yeah,
things
this
with
is-
your car.
It's like Corvettes aren't even rare, bro. They make 50,000 every year. They're like they're the most commoditized sports car.
Readily
you can get
available.
another one. Yeah,
Yeah. Can
Dude,
buy all the parts from AutoZone.
Yeah, literally. It's like you can get anything.
You think that's crazy? See how much paint they make every year. Just fucking spray the thing. We're good.
Exactly.
One of the things I've seen recently is it was Larry Casilla from Ammo NYC.
Yeah.
Got a GT3.
Yeah.
Got a GT3, and he put snows on it, and he's just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna drive it.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Yeah.
he's a
Do
little
it.
bit different because he's gonna clean it and massage it back to life every time.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he's gonna drive it. It's not
Yeah.
just gonna. All right, I just bought it. Can't drive it because it's
There's supposed
winter.
to be the balls on loose stuff, like snow and dirt. There's supposed to be so much fun to drive.
Yeah, I fucking bet, dude. You know, I respect the hell out of Larry Casilla because, you know, the detailers who I respect are the guys who take out the fucking sandpaper, who like
Yeah.
are willing to like cut a car's paint. I respect those guys, but there's about a million other guys in YouTube comments and other places that don't do that and
Yeah.
think they know everything about car detailing.
Buff
Yeah.
and apply.
And there
yeah.
is no way you can do it right. They know a better way to do it. Oh, you rinsed it twice before you did this? You're a fucking idiot. It's like, and you look at the guy's profile, he's like, some clapped out EK. It's like, dude, shut up. It's like, dude, your car's 6 different colors. I don't want to hear it from you.
I'm enjoying this. What other grievances do you want to air?
I'm going to run out soon.
No, it's all right. So another question I asked what the worst kind of was. What's one of the better cars you've driven that really stand out for whatever reason?
You know, I'm not really an electric car guy, but if I had to have one, I really like the Cadillac Lyric.
Okay.
I show for Cadillac on the regular. I'm a big fan of that brand's Renaissance.
Yep.
I think GM is generally a hated on brand for a lot of reasons that just don't make sense to me as like a younger person.
I mean,
And,
their interiors were really bad.
they were, I know
Yeah.
firsthand. And but the Lyric is just like, when I drive an electric car, I usually drive them in anger. You know, because they have like all this torque and you can like shoot around places like mew, 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 and it's like a lot of fun. That was the first EV I ever drove where I was like, I just want to relax. It was like it's so quiet. It's a lot like the Escalade. Rides amazingly, so quiet. The like double pane glass on every surface. Sound system is amazing. Super cruise.
So it really set the ambiance when you got in
yeah,
there.
dude. It's just like it's so peaceful.
Yeah.
So peaceful. And
What-
driving that a lot.
That makes sense. Seeing Cadillac's demographic is 78 years old,
Yeah.
and it's just generally where they end up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
demographic is death's door.
It's, we want them to go as peacefully as possible.
beautiful.
So,
CT4 Blackwing.
I was going to ask if you got to
That had to be
experience one of those.
insanity.
So I've driven a CT4. I probably shouldn't share this, but I drove a CT5 Blackwing briefly because I brought back the CT4, and the fleet guy who's really cool was like, "We have a CT5. It's leaving on the trailer later. Do you want to just take it for a spin?" I was like, yes. So he brought it out, and I took it around the block, and what a riot. It's like the CT4 beats the snot out of the M2. I drove the M2 prototype on a racetrack right before I got back and took the CT4. I'm like, man, that thing fucking sucked. CT4 is Blackwing is like, motor is just as good. You can't say that. People are like, oh, there's no way it's good as the S54. It feels just, or whatever, S50,
S58 or whatever. Yeah.
No way it's as good. It's really fucking close. Revs freely. It even sounds good. It's like ridiculous. Shifter kicks ass. Vomits all over everything BMW has. Like, generationally. Makes its kids in third world poverty. It's that much better. Shifts amazingly. The clutch feel is so much better. The steering is amazing. The adjustable shocks in the CT4, when you want to turn them up, it rides like like it's on no suspension. When you turn it on soft, it's like a fucking lyric. Rides like a dream. You can ride it over a bridge like the Frost Heaves. You can just turn that suspension off. It's like boom, 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 boom. You can feel it change. It gets so much smoother. Has massage seats, heated, cooled seats, heated steering wheel, stick shift, 470 horsepower, amazing chassis, rides great. And it's somehow 20 grand less than the M3.
Yep.
And everyone's like, oh, but you can't buy that. It's not an M3. It's like, have you looked at the M3, dude? At least try it. And the CT5, and you think it can't get any better.
Just as you thought.
Just as you thought. And then they make the CT5 that's almost the same fucking thing with the supercharged V8.
Right.
And it's like, let's fucking go. That's the only car that I have now that I would like to buy.
Yep.
Is a CT5 Blackwing, because they make a green one now.
Yep.
Dude, I tried to. They wanted like 20K over the list. Didn't want to talk to anybody. It was a fucking nightmare.
That's way out of my social class to buy that car.
It was insane talking to those guys.
But what an absolute ripper. Just blows it so controlled. The diffs they have in these cars now. Remember, I just took around the block, just like a 1-2, like, and it was just like straight arrow, just lighting up the tires, and it wanted it.
Yeah.
It was
It just accepted
keep
it.
doing this, bro. Keep doing this.
Yeah.
We're doing this. All right. Just incredible cars. Not underrated, but the space they compete in, especially the CT5, where the M5 now is like weighs more than a Tahoe.
Yep.
The CT5 is 1,200 pounds lighter than an M5.
That's
Jeez.
wild.
If you buy an M5, you're a fucking pea brain. It's like
That's not good for me.
a new M5. Sorry. Present company excluded.
Thank God.
But it's like, that is just such a better car in so many ways that it's difficult to count. I've driven a new M5. It's very, very interesting. But it's like, that is just better
Yep.
in every way.
Why do you think they got it so right? Did they, and I'm asking you this because I just don't know enough about the design team. Did they change people on the back end, or did for lack of a better term, did the restrictions come off?
So the way I'm told it, so GM Performance, if you don't know, is kind of like its own organization within GM.
Mm-hmm.
They do the Corvette, they do Blackwings, and other stuff like that. They're like the Skunk Works organization that people don't want to leave.
Yep.
I've been told by GM engineers that there are people on their team now that refuse promotions for a significant amount of money
Because they don't want
to
to
stay in GM Performance. And so you remember the last gen CTS-V,
Mm-hmm.
supercharged, 650 horse, automatic only. The guy who did the Blackwing cars, Tony Roma, this time is a really, really cool guy. He did the Celestiq too, that big EV they have now.
Yep.
Huge sedan, which I got to ride it actually. It's really cool. But he was in charge of those cars, and he's like, who's the Infinity guy they hired to run Audi guy? Johan de Nischen or whatever his name was. They hired him to run Cadillac. And the Europeans just don't do stick shifts in those big, comfortable cars like that. They used to in the M5. I think the F10 was the last one. Definitely don't anymore. So he was the reason why that car didn't get a stick. And it was like, those cars were being developed right as GM kind of got their interiors in order, right as this new guy got in line to do these cars. He's like, we're putting the fucking stick shift in this thing. Ain't no way. They get it. So all that kind of stuff came together. Finally the interiors were good. All these little bits of technology like MagRide really came into its own, which is just amazing technology. And it all kind of came together for those cars where doors were unlocked, technology matured.
The timing of everything was just that make a really good soup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
Because we talk about them, whenever they come up, whenever they add either a color or something like that.
Yeah.
And we've always been fascinated with them just because of, on paper, you look at it and go, wait a second. Ooh, this is a bit of a...
No, the CT4 is great. I mean, the only thing I don't like about the CT4 is that the CT5 exists. You know, I always say this: if the CT4 Blackwing had a 5.3 in it with like a cam,
Yep.
I would have had that instead of my car. But they don't.
Yeah.
So here I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, just great cars, and hopefully I'll get to drive some more of that stuff and report back to you guys.
I
I
like
still
that.
feel one of the worst things I hated about the industry was that new car would come out and people on Twitter would be like, "Can't wait to drive it." Like that was a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Of course I'll be driving this new car. That's my privilege.
Right.
It's like, dude, I feel like I still get this shit where it's like I'm on this press trip. Why am I here?
Yeah.
I'm driving this car. Why do nobody really cares where I have to stay? I don't care if they do. But it's like, why does the industry exist around
Right.
It's such a privilege to be able to do it.
Especially because they lose sight of like, hey, you're one of the, I don't know, one of 100.
It's not a big group of people.
Right.
It's a huge privilege, and it's like such a great gig, and seeing people take it for granted. I thought one day that would happen to me, and it never has.
Yeah. Which is good. I think that just speaks volumes for your personality.
I fucking hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's, if you love cars, how could you ever take them for granted like that?
Right. For sure. Your appreciation is natural.
Yeah.
Because like, oh, this is great. I'm getting to see something crazy or cool or experience something,
Yeah,
whatever.
like a lot of those people, some journalists don't even, some of them are my friends, but they don't have personal cars.
Yeah.
They're just in and out of press cars. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, if you love cars so much, don't you want to buy one?
That's what I don't. That I often don't get that, and what I often don't get is the, not disassociation, but the like, when you talk to somebody who's in the automotive journalist world, right, and then they're like, "Wait, you modify cars?" How they have no idea.
You ever driven a car running 30 psi? Yeah, it's kind of fucking sick.
That's right. It's just like,
Dude, all my coworkers were like appalled that I allegedly do pulls on the highway occasionally with people. And it's a lot of fucking fun. It's like, I can't believe you do that. Like,
Paradise, bro.
it's like, dude, that's like the most fun I've ever had in a car. It's like just blown down the highway with a guy. Even if just dudes like, in the C7, it's like dudes allegedly in like WRXs or STIs, and they know they're going to lose. And they do it anyway.
it's the spirit of America.
Because we're just fucking hanging out, dude.
That's it, man.
It's like, come on, man. I go through it every time. I probably do it like once or twice a month. Maybe more. I don't know. It depends how much I'm driving. And every time it happens, I just come out with a huge smile on my face. We're just both like chilling, having a good time. I'm like, man, this is what this is all about, dude. Like, I just made it. One of my friends said that once. He's like, that's the only thing I'm jealous about that you're into cars is that if someone else has a car you like and they like your car, you're just instantly friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man. It's that male brain shit.
It's
like,
just
that easy,
right,
bro.
the simplicity. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
just,
it's little gorilla shit.
I was just gonna say it's monkey with a stick. Like, oh.
Yeah, literally.
That's
Let's
it.
rub these things together. Let's fucking go. Let's cross streams.
Doesn't matter.
brother.
Exactly. Poke a little fun if you drive a
Yeah.
Subaru, but
Yeah, we're just having fun around
get
here.
it.
Yeah, we know what's going to go on here. We're not stupid.
we know it's gonna blow
Yeah.
up.
We're on the highway. It's late.
Yeah. Come on,
You're in a
man.
fast car. I'm in a fast car. What's
Yeah,
going to
right.
happen?
No
It's
one's
a
going to get hurt.
dance. It's like a little dance.
Sometimes it's truck drivers too. I remember once I was driving back to my parents' place upstate, and I was just like cruising down the highway and going by this truck driver, and I was going by real slow. He just goes, dude, and I just go next to him, and I'm just level with him. And he goes, dude. I just drop down to third, just take off, and I look at my rearview mirror. He's just flashing his lights at me.
That's awesome.
Like, yeah, man, and that's the great thing about the Corvette too. Is like you can fucking have one of these, man.
It's
This is yours, bro.
It's the everyman.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, and it's communicating without ever talking.
exactly.
Like that dude, he knew exactly what was
Dude.
going on. Like
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
The
mutual.
the gas station near my house at the red light, they're like young Ben's
Yeah.
used to work there, and like they're the bros that pump gas there. It's
Yeah.
still a station when they pump gas, and it's fucking awesome. And if I'm in something fast, they'll just be like, they give you a thumbs up, and like that light turns green, like, yeah, fucking watch this, boy.
It's like clear cut relationship. That you know what they're expecting.
Right.
You know what they expect. to be.
You're. I was just gonna say.
You know
like,
what you can deliver.
right. I have to now step up and
Dude,
deliver.
I had the
Yeah.
whole family in the M5, and I'm like, where's the two-wheel drive? It's like-
My girlfriend has like caught on to that. There's a guy in an M6. We were like going to like Michael's or something in Salem,
Home goods.
and there was some guy in a
Obviously.
V10 M6 who clearly wanted some. He was like next to me, they drop the gears, like whatever, all right. And I was like, she's in the passenger seat, and but she had caught on at that point. She's like, this guy like want to race something, and I'm like,
yeah, you got to count down for
oh
it.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, I can't do this. I didn't. It's like, I'm not gonna do this with my girlfriend in the car. It's like, come on, man. I'm like, sorry, bro. He's like,
You're like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Throw your business card over.
Yeah, the fun police.
Just the watch.
Fun police
Just
are the guy.
I'm sorry, man.
Hit him with the what? 12 a.m. 12 a.m.
Yeah, but he saw and he knew.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's a serious girlfriend.
You just know, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You just know. It's
absolutely.
great. It's like I am so glad about that. Where sometimes I get in arguments about cars with my friends, and we both get legitimately angry at each other. And it's like the only thing that I can think of that regular people can relate to in that respect is probably sports and
Right,
politics.
I was going to say some sort of sporting event. You're right.
And it's
right.
like the fact that there can be something so stupid that you can get so mad about
Yep.
is just great.
The lines are drawn.
It's like, dude, like arguing for hours about the F80 M3 and like being literally pissed about it. Next morning, you're just like, just like,
Fuck
oh
you,
yeah, what's
dude.
up, man? He's like, yeah, I'm going home. All right, see you. Next day, you're like boys again. It's like that's what it's all about, I can't. That's the thing. When you see people aren't into cars, I just don't get it. This whole part of your life is missing, bro.
Yeah, how can you not be into it?
I don't understand. It's like it doesn't take that much to get into it. You don't even have to like the car to
Right.
get into it. It's like, dude, go buy a new WRX. It's like a normal car now. Just buy it. You'll get dudes with like who are vaping, who are like 5 foot nothing, wearing beanies.
Name Kyle.
Name Kyle, and they're gonna want to be your friend for
Yeah.
no reason.
Yep.
Isn't that beautiful?
It was an unbelievable way to pick up guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Dude, I made so many friends with my Skyline. You want to make friends, dude. Drive around in a purple fucking
Yeah,
Skyline.
oh my god.
Never met so many dudes in my life.
That's like
And we're all friends. I take randos for. I had a kid on a street bike once. Flagged me over, and he's like, "Yo, can you take me for a ride on this thing?" I was like,
yes.
"Yeah, fuck it, let's go." We go ripping around. I swear to God, months later, I'm talking to my neighbor. He's like, "Hey, you know that kid on the street bike you took for a ride? That's my buddy Bill." I'm like, "Fucking Bill's a man, dude." I'll tell you that much right now.
Tell
Bill's
Bill
a fucking
what's up.
man.
Yeah, Bill gets it.
Tell him what's up, man.
When people are like on the edge of getting into cars too, remember my cousin who actually bought a BRZ was like, I had to C7. He goes, man, is that cool? I'm like, yeah, you want to go for a ride? It's like a fucking jail. I don't think my McLaren F1, but I just my C7. And it's like, yeah, sure. When I'm like, I gotta go to the store anyway. Sure. So we got there and he was like, fucking, car's already warmed up. I was out before. Let's kind of ease into it in first gear up to like 3 grand. And just fucking hit it. 1, 2, smack the clutch. Like all the way to the top of second. Third, smack the clutch. It's fucking, we're doing 100 miles an hour. And it's like, and then you just fucking let it off, backfires. And like people who drive RAV4s don't know about
They
that.
can't do that.
They don't,
They
that
just,
doesn't, they don't know cars can be like that.
yes.
And I remember he didn't look at me. He was looking straight ahead like, like,
Yeah, dude.
man, they make them like this?
They,
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them.
Dude, it's like the Pied Piper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just sending these kids to freedom.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, dude,
Hop
it
in the
just takes
car.
that much. Like kids, well, the Corvette looks like, looks like a toy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like putting siding on my dad's barn up in New Hampshire. Kid walks by looking at the car, and then his parents are like, can you come over? I was like, yeah, just let him sit in there and everything. It's like, I got this kid locked in.
yeah, that's it. He's going to remember this. This
That's
is
the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Like,
moment.
you want me to rev it? He's like, yeah.
You gonna do a couple donuts or what?
It's like, relax, kid. It's like just little shit like that. Even in the Saturn Sky, kid, that looks like a toy too.
Yeah.
You kid just like, they make them like that for real?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Because that's the, it breaks that mundane
Yeah.
Corolla
It's our
cross.
responsibility.
Right, to keep it going.
It's like
our
that
responsibility,
drink that's
dude.
called Seagram's Escapes. You ever seen those?
I have actually. I can picture it.
It's not where you're escaping to. It's what you're escaping from.
Yeah.
And cars are like that too.
Right,
Man, I'm going to the grocery store. This is gonna rock.
right.
Hell yeah.
This car is sick.
That's a
I drive the C7 every day, and I'm like, this. Sometimes I just can't help myself. I'm like, dude, fucking, some like country song comes on or something, and like you're just fucking wide open to it, and it's like this rules. It's like, why would you not want this all the
we
time?
need milk again. We got a half gallon. I know.
Yeah,
it's
no,
fine.
I got that.
Yeah.
Hey, go to the store.
I love that thing when you go to Chipotle. They're like, your order saved 28 grams of CO2, and I'm going back to the house. Delete that.
We got plenty to spare.
Yeah, wide open in fourth gear. Sorry, Chipotle.
We've all talked about our they talk about aliens, like point of contact with cars for us at some point in our life, like the moment we all have our
Yeah.
own. What is your point of contact?
My grandfather, who I never met, was a car guy. My dad was a car guy. I don't think I had a moment. It was just like,
It just came in. It was in you.
again, with like the Legoland license shit, I just always wanted something with the steering wheel that I could fucking abuse.
Yeah.
And when I got my license, it was like, I feel like it's like when you turn 21, you finally get to drink, and then there's like nothing else after that. I've been waiting to drink for my whole life, and now that I'm 21, I'm just like old. That was like getting my license was for me. I was like, well, what else is there?
Yep.
This is my life.
This is it.
They're like, and I'm kind of thankful for that because it is my life.
Right.
I don't know what I would fucking do with that. I'd not be fucking, in a fucking, 30-story fucking gooning dungeon or something, doing God knows what, filing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be miserable, dude.
Cubicle.
Yeah.
Doing something.
Yeah, I'd be somewhere doing some shit. No one cares about what I do now, but
But at least you get to enjoy it.
yeah, I enjoy the hell out of it. And it's incredible you can do this as a gig, or you can have a podcast about it. It's like fucking just awesome. That's why, sure, you get laid off, you don't have a job anymore. It's like, yeah, man. It's like I love cars so much and it's infectious, and I can tell it's infectious.
doesn't-
and
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. There's many, music unites people, sports can unite people, but cars do as
Yeah.
well. Because even hell, we see it all the time with either friends that go to Japan or whatever.
oh yeah.
And it's very instant. Like, I don't speak Jap, or, when you're witnessing this, they don't speak the same language, but
Yeah.
they're talking to each other.
When I was on that trip in Sicily with the BRZ we were talking about earlier in the WRX, we stopped at this Sicilian village, which was like Albania. And they had this multi-story apartment complex, which was a school. And we pulled up to this gas station that they said we could park in to as a stopover to go see this guy's museum, which is actually really cool, in his basement.
Yeah.
And as soon as we parked, all these Sicilian kids with bowl cuts came out, just Italians.
Yeah.
Came out and hanging, not saying anything, literally heckling us just for having these cars. They speak the language.
Yeah.
They get it.
Yeah.
It's like everywhere. It's just like that. It's like, in Germany, I remember we were staying at they have this industrial estate outside Munich called Garching, where M headquarters is. It's literally like Secaucus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have this, across from our hotel was this dealership called American Dream Cars. People don't understand that about German people. A lot of them love American culture, and cars are a big part of that. And they had the most clapped out Fortune Camaros, just all this just old Dodge Rams and shit. And the place was fucking packed. Oh yeah, Ford Mustang. They were yeah, man, you can just fucking buy it. It's it's just they speak the language.
Right. Right. They just get it.
Doesn't
Yeah.
care if they know the words. They speak the language.
Yeah.
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 We had what's it, Johnny. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Johnny from
Roll Hard? Yeah.
is technically they do social media. They have a website too.
They do, I believe.
They have a
Yeah. And he
website.
works for Hoonigan.
That's right.
Yeah. He also works for Hoonigan.
And he was talking about he's in Japan and just meets a guy, and they're can't talk to each other, but he just gets in the car and goes to a meet to look at cars together, and then what was that, Google Translate or something?
Yeah,
to,
yeah, there was rough-
we're gonna stop it over and meet someone else, and he's like, I'm just in this random person's car, but in the end, you're just all speaking the same language.
Yeah.
And it was just cars in a parking lot hanging out, enjoying them.
I think he went to, what is it called? Dakoku or whatever the hell it's called.
I'm
big-
not gonna pretend I
Yeah.
know those names.
yeah.
Wild Steve 169 in the chat.
Big shouts to Wild
Big shouts
Steve.
to Wild Steve. Love that.
But it's just no matter where you are,
Yeah.
same language.
Yeah, and it's crazy that enthusiast cars are getting less popular because remember when I went to Formula Drift for the first time, it was you're telling me that there's no market for cars like this?
Right.
That's crazy.
Just
Right.
a million dudes here with gauges who are going to buy this thing.
I was having that conversation earlier today of just it started with some EV stuff and, all right, that's being forced kind of down. We're being forced in that direction.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's you have that, you have people we know in the industry who have either lost jobs, companies have closed, big parts, things that are just shutting down. And it's just oh yeah, our small niche is getting smaller.
Yeah.
And I don't see, that's why even Chuck was saying before, we gotta,
We had to be out there taking kids for rides, dude.
just show the kid because
Yeah.
it's I'm hoping they're sure,
phrase that
maybe,
differently.
right.
Maybe burnouts in front of school.
It's
Something like that.
it's for the kids.
For the children.
There may be a generation two already lost,
Yeah.
but hopefully we can kind of regain that back.
5th grade field trip to Lock City Drift. Everybody gets to ride along.
I agree. It's crazy. My dad's friends, all those guys are into cars.
Right.
All of them. They all
Right.
talk about, they run their mouths about GTOs and fucking 427.
Right.
whatever, all
There's
that.
whatever that.
Yeah, the 6-pack on that. They're of course. Now the kid, I don't know what that is. Beer? No, it's not beer. It's all right. It's like, whatever. And now, when I went to college, I met one person who was into cars. One.
That's
Yeah.
tough.
It's like,
We
man.
must have stuck to him like glue.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's my best man.
We got fucked up every Thursday.
Nice.
It's just right. I mean, it's easy to find car people and relate to them when you are in the same place,
Yeah.
but that pool of people is seemingly shrinking.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, try it with my kids. I think my daughter is probably the biggest of the three. She's like
Yeah.
the most enthused, and she's
Yeah.
7. And it's just like,
Not surprised.
yeah. And it's just kind of a natural thing of, hell, even when I got my license finally, because again, I probably said this before, but like all I did was ride my bike forever. I was BMX. That's all I wanted to do ever. Then I turned 18, got my license. Obviously, everything changed.
Yeah.
And it was just, okay, this is where it's at. And I was excited for that. My son has his license. He's like,
Yeah. A lot of my friends' younger brothers, like, he has his license, doesn't really drive anywhere, though. It's like, obviously, from everything we said, that doesn't click with us.
right, exactly. It's just different.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't even say like like your dad's friends and probably their fathers and things like that. I don't think they really had like there's no worry about it. Just oh yeah, my kid's into this too,
Right.
just naturally.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah, I think it's a shame beyond even, performance cars. I think cars are a very unique space socially. There's not a lot of other times where someone you may not know very well, you have to spend like 4 hours with them on a road trip just sitting next to each other.
yeah.
What can you do just to get to know the other person? There's not a lot of social situations like that. It's a very unique thing.
Yeah.
Road trip culture. That's very unique in the United States. And I think we're more sociable and better for it. So, once that's lost, I don't think it's going to be lost anytime soon because cars are still very popular, obviously. But I just think about that sometimes, like the wider implications of car culture, what it means to people, how it has affected us as a nation, how it makes us different than other countries. And I imagine losing that, and I don't like it.
Right. I agree. Because that is a huge portion of do-it-yourselfers as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It just, no, this is my car. I'm going to have the initiative to do the oil change, brakes,
It's a skill.
modify it,
Yeah.
all that sort of, it's just, well, hey, that's going to be gone
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
Again, within reason. But
Yeah.
like, there's a whole generation or multiple generations that you get change your oil. What's oil?
Yeah.
You got to put that in
Tire.
a car?
I
Right,
thi- I
tire,
thi-
right, exactly.
A lot of journalists kind of disagree on this, and they're doing the same thing over and over again. And I disagree that they should just like kind of give that up and keep writing about the E30 forever, whatever. I think the onus is on journalists to enthuse the younger generation doing.
It's I say easy, right? But it's easy to introduce people to
Yeah.
things. And like, again, there's aspects of cars, motorsport, whole regions of people that other people don't even know exist.
Yeah.
Hell, in some of these European countries, there's just conglomerates of people that are all into old Volvos,
Right,
or
yeah.
Ladas or something.
Everybody in Eastern Europe wants like an old E-Class
Right,
for some reason.
exactly. It's just, and it's just like, wait a second, the medium can change, whether it's a Corvette or a Volvo, but
Right.
like that mess with camaraderie, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like one of the most unique spaces in American culture for sure, and definitely a defining part about American culture. And yeah, again, I think the onus is on journalists to make it more interesting for people, to tell them about it and to explain, cars can be so much better than what you're driving, so much more interesting.
Right.
And if you just never like wrap your head around that, you are living a worse life for it.
Yeah, and you're just soon enough you're in your egg-shaped EV.
It's sucking your cock, but for what?
Own going to your cubicle, and the best part, best part of your day is when the rubber whips hit your fucking Schmenzer, and that's about it. For those 10 seconds, I'm free.
What was that Confucius quote? It was like a fake Confucius quote. It's like, don't learn to suck your own cock. It's not like getting your cock sucked. It's like sucking a cock.
That's perfect.
Let's go to the mailbag.
Oh my God. Well, Pete, we're probably gonna let's see. Yeah, 8:52. I think we get another half hour in us.
See how much Polar I got.
Yeah. Obviously, thank you very much for coming to hang out.
Yeah, of
shoot the
course.
shit. Actually, you got some other stuff going on, right? You're still gonna build the go-kart.
Yeah, it's kind of turned into a car at this point.
Well,
I don't want to take up any more of your time.
it
on
all
that.
comes around. You said
I'm-
you wanted to design cars.
Yeah, right.
Boom.
I am doing that because I do think there's a better future for enthusiast cars. I'm trying to figure that out and sort that out and make sure that's reality and show people that kind of thing. And
Yep.
I'm writing about that. I'm going to be sharing it. There will be a place for it. I'm
Good.
still
Oh,
doing it.
perfect.
All the sponsorship is to me, not to Motor One.
Yep.
That's still happening. I'm really excited to share that with you guys. But again,
Yeah. No, right. You get some priorities and
Yeah.
things. So as that develops and you have things and you're ready, obviously send them to us.
Yeah, I'll
we'll
fucking
we'll
drive it
share
down
and
when it's
we'll
done.
we'll make something happen.
Yeah.
We'll do whatever. Film some stuff. Shoot some
Where's,
photos.
where do you update?
it was motor1.com.
Mm-hmm.
Now I guess just on Twitter.
Twitter? Which Twitter handle? Or can you
At
still call it
_ball
Twitter?
tires.
At _ball tires.
Dude, X is just shot. I'm not calling it X. Whatever. It's Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Twitter. It's
I'm
Twitter.
not
Twitter
changing,
new.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, just on Twitter mostly. I tried to get Blue Sky, but that's just a bunch of people complaining, apparently. And Threads is like LinkedIn Lite, which kind of makes me want to cut my own head off. So, I'm staying on Twitter for now.
There you go. Hey, let it fly.
Yeah.
So updates _ball tires.
Yeah.
Excellent. I Googled it and some article came up from Hackaday.
Yeah, they
From, like,
reposted
May?
one of my things. I was making a quad motor go-kart, and they liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I was reading about it earlier before we actually started recording.
Do you familiar with Bad Obsession Motorsport?
No.
Oh boy,
Oh, Jesus.
we're gonna send you that link. It's right up your alley.
Okay.
And they don't post very frequently,
Uh-huh.
but when they do, remember how I said the ceiling earlier and it gets punched through? They fucking deliver.
Cool.
I will make sure we share that with you. So, want to do the B4B real quick? Then
Sure.
we'll hit the other stuff.
Yeah. Where's the old? Oh God, hold on. I gotta plug it in.
He's got to replug.
It was really beeping on me.
Wild Steve, big shouts to you, buddy. I enjoy your
Shout to Wild Steve.
pink hair throwback photos. It reminds me of high school. I just felt like I was there with you.
Shouts to everybody in that chat room. Oh my God, it's still not gonna do it. Don't do this to me.
There we go.
Oh, my God. That was loud.
Now it's awake.
Bucks for the boys. Hey everybody, it's Chuck again. What's Bucks for the boys? Bucks for the boys is how we keep this podcast rolling. It's a value for value system where we ask if we provide a value to you, any value at all. Please provide some value to us monetarily or in many other instances. Spiritually, through the chat room, whatever. And hit us up. Easiest way, hit us up at revivemotoring.com/B4B. There you can sign up for a sustainable donation. You can pick an amount in a kind of time period you want to throw at the boys, and that helps us. And by us, I mean Josh, plan out the bills, etc. Have something in the bank to make something happen. That keeps us here.
Yep.
And it's a beautiful thing. Also, you don't want to do recurring? We get it, bro. You can also go on the PayPal and hit us up, info@revivemotoring.com. We are contractually obligated to read any message sent to us with any amount of money at all. So if it's worth anything to us, anything, dude, come on. You've been listening for an hour at least. Hit us up on there. We will read that message no matter what it says. Josh, do we have anything?
We don't, but
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
just want to mention, like, you can promote your company or business
Yeah,
by
yeah.
doing so without an ad. You
for
know what I mean?
almost no
I think I'm
money.
gonna start doing
It's an easy thing.
For almost no money. That's amazing. Also, we understand it's an economic hard time. It hasn't stopped since we started this podcast. So you can also pop
Keeps on
on.
moving.
You can hit us up with like top secret information you know about, You're a car person. You heard about car stuff. You work at a car company. You want to let us know. Slip us some information.
There's
Through the grapevine.
Through the grapevine, some pictures.
there's some stuff, and I'm going to show my integrity here. There's some stuff that we know and have been shown photos of that is going to be put into said vehicles, and it's, dare I say, mind blowing, and we just can't talk about it or show it,
We know?
but we appreciate it.
I think you know.
Yeah, sounds like you know, bro.
I sent it to you
He
guys.
probably knows too.
It was probably a month ago. We'll have a little show and tell
All right,
after.
all right, all right.
Yeah.
all right.
Boy.
Yeah. It'll be
Anyways,
quick.
yeah, so, you anything you can do to help us produce this baby. You see car news you think's cool, we should discuss. Hit us up. You guys do it to me on Instagram all the time. It's the best. I really appreciate it. And then also you can, you want to write a song about the Revive Motoring podcast. Send us a funny
No
soundbite.
AI. No AI
No AI.
songs.
Yeah.
Original
Real life.
content.
Whatever you want, send it to us. Help us produce. That'd be great. Obviously, the best way we grow is by word of mouth. We grow by mouth.
Quickly.
Let's we'll rewind a little bit on that one.
We're gonna have to shop that. We're gonna have to shop that
That
segment.
one's we're working on that one.
But you're a car guy. We've been talking about car guy shit the whole time. car guys. Tell them, hey, we listen to the boys. You know, you want to hang out with, it's just like hanging out in the garage with the boys, man. Yeah. Hit up Revival Motor and check us out. Also, we encourage people to listen, like, you know, maybe on a backpack at the ski mountain. Be that guy that's loudly listening to something that nobody likes.
Perhaps you got a boom box,
Yeah.
like
You know,
old school.
I was in Portland, Oregon, and that was happening, but it was music that I liked.
There you go.
And I was like, oh, I kind of see the point.
Oh, I get it
That's
now.
the thing, right? Maybe you find somebody you know, like you put it on your boom box, and you're like, wait a second, I like cars too.
Yeah.
Taking tips.
Not only did we introduce you to a new friend, but you helped us out.
Maybe you're on an airplane, you know?
Two-way street.
Hey, when you pick up that kid in your fast sports car, put a Revival on.
Yeah. Let them know.
I was told to do this.
Just lean over. Hey, do you know these guys?
You know these guys? Hey, you like a car? What do you like about this? Let me play a little Revival for you.
Hey, shout out to
You like
Matt,
muscles?
Matt Wood. I think you're on Twitter, right? Shout out, man.
He is,
Thanks.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
unbelievable.
Matt Wood, he's just, if you want some information, he's got it. Like
guy's-
it's just there.
he's the internet.
It's crazy.
Here's your So yeah, force people to listen. Throw them in the trunk. Throw it on.
Yep.
Hey, you're waterboarding someone. You need something to torture them with. Boom, Revival Motor
Buy a shirt
in your face.
right
Over
over
their
the
face.
face. I mean, just
Yeah, nothing boards like a Revival Motoring shirt. That's what I've been told.
2 for 1.
And then finally, the best way to experience the podcast, and the way everybody should at least once, is at about 7 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday. We hop on the goddamn YouTube, and we have a chat room going on, distracting us the whole time. It's our wonderful internet family. It didn't distract us that hard this time as Pete's here, but usually we're pretty deep in the
Sorry.
the gutter over there.
I was fucking gesticulating like a
It was
priest.
Oh no,
fucking
it's great. You kept us
Totally fine.
perfectly
Exactly
on
what we
track.
needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, pop on there. It's about 7 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday. We love seeing you guys, and we appreciate it. And you help us more than you would possibly know. Keeps
Yes.
us motivated.
Truly does.
So that's my case.
If you're an active Beat for Beat member, you will receive some stuff in the mail from us from time to time, as well as automatically be entered once every month. That's the beginning of every month. If you're on there, you're active, you're going to be entered to win some stuff from us. Currently, we have some one-off keychains and leather goods that were made by our friend TD. So
Love that.
your chance to win is just by signing up and helping us out. With that said, each and every week we have a way to judge just how good we were last week with some numbers that we calculate and present to you. So with those numbers,
Okay.
Corey.si.
We are here with the numbers. And by we, it is me.
Yep.
I am him.
Wait. What's the fuck? What is it? I think it was Jake and I were just talking about it. The professional bowler.
Oh, I know.
Who do you
think you are?
I am.
All
Dude,
you,
one
all
of
you
the
can do
best.
is watch.
Who do you think you are? I am. It's one of the best, like,
Oh, yeah.
fuck you, I'm him
He
moments.
gets fired
It's-
up, bro.
One
So
day,
good.
I'll be that excited about something. It won't be today because we're only at 31 cents per listen. But one day, let me tell you, when we hit $1, I'm gonna
Let's go.
full.
We're
Who do you
gonna
think you are?
Pete
I am.
Weber,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Pete Weber.
Let's go,
he
Pete
knew.
Weber.
You
See,
said, yeah.
this is crazy. Doesn't even- I bet Matt could tell us what balls Pete Weber throws. I just
The only
wouldn't
reason
doubt
it took time for him to respond is because it's like
there's a delay.
exactly the amount of delay on that.
Yeah, he knew it.
You know.
Hot on the fingers. With that said, I have no callbacks myself. I have a couple things that I'd like to touch upon. One about an auction, and 2 YouTube videos I watched. So if you guys have some callbacks or some news, I do have one thing in the news that isn't really news, but I'd like Pete's opinion on as well. So we can kind of round table however you guys want to do it.
I
You
got
got,
one.
like, 1 or 2 hours, right?
Yeah, we got a couple more hours. I got one thing I'm chuffed up about.
Yep.
Is I just bought this side by side, and I was like, you know, it'd be cool if let me get a low speed vehicle plate on this 76 mile an hour capable side by side. So I pull up Rhode Island's laws. You want a low speed vehicle plate? It has to be electric.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
no.
They're
God.
for golf carts, right?
It has to be electric. Well, not gas golf carts that you might already
Right,
own.
yeah.
Gotta buy a brand new one.
That's bullshit.
Does EasyGo only make electric golf carts?
Probably.
Yeah.
Dude, straight bullshit. Has to be electric.
Yeah,
Can you believe that shit?
that's crazy.
Trump's
I can
gonna-
actually.
Trump's going to do something about
He's
it.
gonna fix that.
I mean, red dye number 3 is already gone as of today. So
Yeah.
that's crazy.
He might take my monster, but he's gonna fix
Right,
that
right.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to do a deeper dive into it. This
Yeah.
is just quick, and I wasn't around today, but
Right, 'cause-
yeah, dude, that's some bullshit, dude. Buy some more shit to save the environment. Fuck you.
Yeah, especially it being towed as a low speed vehicle.
That is just
like
the-
it just
That's the curse of electric vehicles is that it's wrapped up in consumerism along
Yeah.
with environmental.
and it's become right.
Not only am I saving the world, I get a new car.
Right.
I get
It's
new
the
shit.
Dare I say that's a trick to make you think.
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
You
Yeah.
know, bit of a.
It looks like they're all electric besides the Express 6, which holds 6 people. Total 13.5 grand. But it's elite lithium and gas. So it's
It's a hybrid.
Hybrid.
So
I don't know how
hybrid.
that's gonna play in Rhode Island, but yeah, it was one of the Q&As was like, so I got a gas one. Can I register? Like, no, fuck you. Like, what the hell, dude?
Just pull the motor out, put a couple 12-volt car batteries in the trunk. The motor used to be, what is it, like a Predator 212? You can pull it out with a fucking
And then throw
it's a
right
set of
back in.
keys.
Yeah.
Get the plates on there, chuck it back in.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, I was pretty chuffed up about that.
Should be chuffed.
Worth
I haven't
it. Yeah.
stopped being chuffed, honestly.
Should be
more
chuffed.
more chuffing. I don't know if you guys. Matter of fact, I had a handful of people send this to me. The Mecum Auto Auction,
Yeah,
where a Supra CRX and a SI were sold.
yeah.
I think the cheapest one was the SI for $66,000.
Oh,
There you go.
The CRX was I think 77 or 79,000. And I think the Mark IV Supra, again, pristine condition.
Don't say it, dude. Mark IV Super, just don't say it.
I forgot. Matter of fact, I
Not
forgot.
tonight, bro. Not tonight.
Come on. You can't do this to me.
Yeah.
Put it this way, it was like, oh, okay, well, no average person's ever going to own one of
Like
those
100
again.
grand? What?
Oh yeah,
Nah, just wait for the whole world to fall
yeah.
apart.
Where did
Probably
it go?
scavenge
Where did
one.
it?
Yeah, dude. We'll be
get
like
one.
fucking, what's that Australian movie? Mad Max?
Mad Max, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be
You
out.
can have that attitude. Well, that's-
132.
We're moving up,
We'll be doing
baby.
something like
There we go.
that.
132K.
grab one.
2009 S2000. It doesn't say any specs on
I
it.
think that-
71.5.
Ugh.
Yeah,
The 91 CRX is 71.5.
Ew, brother.
EM1 Civic Coupe, which is like the cool ass blue one, 2000,
Mm-hmm.
66K. Here's the one that blew me away. All the other ones I like can kind of like
There's some
try
world.
and wrap my
Yeah.
brain around. 1989 MR2,
yes.
$77,000.
Oh. That had to be Mr. To himself. That's the only guy. Send your
That's-
He
dose.
That's
came. He
money
came
laundering.
with. Came with
Yeah,
the. Co-
dude, someone's
that's-
laundering some money.
All the
Yeah.
other ones are insane, but I can kind of be like, all right, whatever. Then I saw the MR2 and I'm like, who?
There's a trunk full of Rolexes and illegal weapons in that thing, dude.
I like this Mad Max idea, though. We're going to get a super. The only way we can get a Super Mark IV is that a fucking Mad Max happens.
Yeah, once
Right,
civilization collapses, they're up
watch,
for the
we'll, get
taking,
like,
dude.
we'll get like some NA2J car and just get it like fucking harpooned. It's
Right again.
Fuck, get in it!
Water, water and gas are super scarce. I'm here for it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might happen.
There's a cage. Tina Turner's involved. It's all going to go down. One thing I did want to bring up, in this, I guess it's a bit of a news. The 2025 ZR1 Corvette,
Yeah.
$174,995.
I was conflicted about that. You said I couldn't think of what you're going to bring up that would get me going, but fuck, dude.
I mean, it's
Yeah, so for a $175, you get the Gap Everything machine. It has, the motor is more
But-
powerful than the V16 in that new Bugatti.
yeah.
Without the hybrid system, that Bugatti is less powerful than than the burger car.
Yeah.
I mean, get fucked, first of all. Second, but 175 grand.
That's-
It's still a Corvette.
All the money.
Right.
I sat in one of those, and it's basically a Z06 inside. It's like, yeah, 1,100 horsepower, but even for 150, I would have been like, yes, 175.
It brings it to a different ballpark.
Yeah,
and
it-
that's the base MSRP because that's the
Yeah.
1LZ coupe for 174,995, and there's a convertible for 184,995. There's the 3LZ coupe 185,995, 3LZ convertible 195,995.
So we can put 1,100 horse in yours.
Actually, right.
it.
can-
Yeah,
Couple grand, boom.
it's true.
You
What is,
come out 130 grand ahead. Dude, you fucking kill it.
what is that scene from The Office where they try and give Kevin broccoli?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you're killing him.
Killing
That was like me when you were reading the options. Like, no, 184.
Yo,
Right, right. It's like Neo from Matrix in
Yeah,
that when he's in the seat.
Fucking skin is
Taking the
crawling.
hits,
No,
yeah.
no,
It's crazy.
not a Corvette for that much.
Because just 10 minutes ago, I had just said, it's the everyman.
Yeah, right. You know,
At 175,
I feel like
it ain't the everyman.
$150 is like, okay, I can't afford that. $175 is like, okay, I definitely can't afford that.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
so,
a
yeah,
lot. That's a lot of fucking
You know-
light stream.
I'm going to enjoy watching that thing freight train everything.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Everything, everywhere, all the time. Not going to, don't enjoy the price. And, that's the thing, though. It's like for the money you're getting with the most car you ever could have in history. but it's still the money.
It's a giant.
Shit do be costing money.
Right.
Shit too.
If to kind of play the back and forth a little bit. What was it? The Dark Horse thing, the GTD thing.
The GTD.
Oh yeah, well the GTD is just fucking stupid. First of all, don't get me going about the GTD.
Don't
The
you do it.
GTD is just the Ford Mustang by Multimatic. They
Yeah.
did the whole car.
yeah. But the price point and the availability
It's $325,
is so small.
and the interior is the same as a Mustang.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
You, if you pay $325 for a Mustang, you could buy basically 2 01s. That's the real skin. That's what we're not talking about.
See, there we go.
This is what I was going to say the liberals. Can't go full Alex Jones. Can't do that.
Should see what they're doing in the
But-
front.
At that 175K, Chevy will make as many as you want.
Yeah.
They'll just keep them going.
Right, they will pump
There's
them out.
no limited
Oh,
availability.
they're gonna be on dealer lots.
The thing is, what I love about the Corvette platform now is the E-Ray and that front drive unit, because they're going to put that front drive unit. This is a crackpot theory I've actually want to talk about for a while.
let's go.
You know the AMG 1 holds a Nürburgring record?
Yeah.
That is a fundamentally compromised car. They've stuffed that F1 engine into it, which is not ideal for the street. Like, there's a reason why they don't just put F1 engines in cars. That car has 6 catalytic converters. 6.
That is a ew, brother.
It weighs 3,800 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has the same power to weight ratio as the 01.
So we can expect the same
It's coming for
numbers.
So I think the burger car is about to gap the personal favorite of the European supercar
The old
community.
gaptism.
The old burger car. Finally coming back to bite. And that's not even the fucking fastest one.
back
Right.
to back champs, baby.
Because they're going to bring the 01 out, and then they're going to have the Zora. Everyone knows that's happening. We all know it. You know it. I know it.
It's been right.
Yeah. And the thing with the Zora is the E-Race pack. You know when they say in EVs, it's like, oh, it's a 110 kilowatt hour pack, but we're only using 100 kilowatt hours.
Yeah.
That just means they're not charging the cells to full voltage. But voltage times amperage is power.
Yeah.
So if you charge it to that full voltage, you'd have more power. The E-Ray has a 2 kilowatt hour battery pack that they are only charging to 1.1 kilowatt hours.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of power left
There's still
in
some.
the can. And voltage, an electric motor, is motor speed. So not only if they increase the full pack capacity are they getting more power, they're getting more power on the top end. They're extending this car's reach.
Yeah.
The Zora is going to vomit all over that thing. It's going to be pissing in that thing's shoes. And then what is it going to be, 200 grand? Versus how much is the AMG one? Like,
You can't even.
it doesn't even matter how much it is.
It's.
Yeah,
I think it's $2 million.
it's not even real. It's not a real car.
Right. It's not a.
It's
Yeah.
not real.
So, again, that's. I always get. It's like, okay, cool. It's
$2.72 million.
to me like it, and I say attainable, right?
6-cylinder car. 6-cylinder car. 2.7 6-cylinder car.
Imagine
What the fuck?
Imagine being a pilot at the Zora on the Nürburgring, and you're listening to the boys are back in town, just fucking.
I can just hear it
hammering
now.
on an AMG one.
Boys are back.
That's it. It just
fucking
you're just.
bus gapping the AMG one,
Right,
dude.
right.
Well,
Whatever
see, that,
the length of that song is how long the
It's
bob's
that,
gonna be.
see, that hasn't happened yet. I haven't seen that. When I see that, I'll be like, yeah, $175 a fucking course.
Let's go.
Obviously, yeah, get fucked.
Let's go.
When that happens, I'll be rowing that boat.
Yeah.
Right,
Until then-
right.
Until then,
It's got a little to prove.
Little heavy.
Yeah,
Until
I gotta
then,
hold
little
my-
heavy.
gotta
a
keep my
little to
powder
prove.
dry.
The
all right?
AMG GT1 did it in 6:29:09.
Which is not even that much faster than the other cars on the list.
So, like, I'm curious. What do you think the ZR1?
Take a minute off it. No.
Dude, I don't care if it's a fucking millisecond.
At some point, I mean,
I just want to go to Europe with the euro. I'm going to have my fat American dollars.
and your dong hanging out.
Leaving up the bar. Hey, Fraulein, see the 01 down at the Nürburgring? I'm just throwing down 20,000 beers, please. 1,000 beers.
Just hit him with
Bud
the.
Light.
Keep them coming.
Yeah,
Remember
keep
that
it
time
coming.
you guys lost World War II?
Yeah, remember that?
You know what
Remember
else
the
you just
Marshall Plan?
lost?
Remember the Berlin airlift? This is like that, but we're fucking you.
It's a,
Can you tell I'm unemployed? Yeah.
Just let loose.
Another Bud Light.
Next week he's gonna rein it right back in. Rein it right back in.
And next week we'll be like, actually, the Honda Ridge line. All right,
You know what?
Right.
That's not a
Great
bad
tight.
deal.
that was AI.
Love a
guys-
6-cylinder.
Yeah.
Right now he's just a free agent. That's
Yeah.
all.
You guys have been using the power AI to make me say things I didn't want to say.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's crazy what people can do with AI. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Scott Norton in the chat. News: Sloan Motors getting a shout out on Joe Rogan's podcast. Wild.
Well, that's weird. He's been on our podcast a couple times, hasn't he? Right there.
Matter of fact, he's
Sloan
literally
Motors.
behind.
Yeah,
you.
I was actively listening to that exact podcast.
What is it
Which
on?
one?
It's a comedian talking about a special, Brian Callen, and they're talking about cars. Which, listen,
As we were, yes,
Josh
yes.
and I were talking earlier. There's nothing more painful on this planet than hearing Joe Rogan talk about cars.
Yeah.
It's the most excruciating thing.
It's like
Yeah,
kind of on like the
unfortunately.
hype beast kind of range in cars where it's
Yeah.
like he gets them and he kind of knows he has like some taste, but it's mostly because he just thinks it's cool
Yeah,
and like he likes the image of it. Like he wants to be seen in the C2.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this guy is not putting, meth in a tune on like a fucking, whatever. This guy's, spending $100,000 on a C2 Corvette and Meekum.
yeah,
Yeah.
But shouts to Brett. That's incredible.
Big shouts to Brett. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that opens
Fucking
many
Brett,
doors for.
getting it done.
Remember when? Remember when?
Hey, don't forget about us, buddy.
Don't worry, we got a little cut out of him right there.
We'll just hang out with that, Brett.
We hit the Meekum. We hit the vet that still makes them wet. There's 2 YouTube videos that I wanted to discuss and bring up. Unless you guys have any other news that you wanted to pop in real quick.
I mean, a bunch of news that sucks. RSX is back as an electric coupe SUV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be excited if it came back as itself, to be honest, but
I
I'm less
just-
excited.
I hate that. Like the Mustang Mach-E and what's the one in Europe, the Capri?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The thing is, the RSX, the Mustang, and the Capri were all fundamentally such uncynical cars.
Yeah.
They were sports cars. They were fun. They were aspirational. And they bring them back in the most cynical way.
They're just disrespecting brands.
And, boomers buy them like, oh, hey, honey, I bought a Mustang out of the 40. It's like, what? And they're like, oh, it's the new electric one. I can get it. It's like, dude,
Just try to rehash,
get a new hip, bro.
Way
Mustangs
better
are cheap, man.
Yeah. Tough to see.
Yeah.
There's
yeah,
no-
but fair. I don't really give a fuck about the RSX.
Nobody cares about the RSX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else happened?
Model Y Juniper looks pretty
I did
cool.
see that refresh. Yeah.
Whoa, Juniper?
Juniper,
Is that the new Model
the
Y?
new Model Y.
The
I guess
refresh?
it's like the code name. Honestly, just looks like a Hyundai Ioniq.
I was gonna say, is it your car with a high roof?
Yeah, it's Will's wife's car with a LED strip on the front.
It's got the same interior. Is that the rear seat entertainment?
I
like
think it
yours
has
is?
the Model 3 rear seat
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, but they put, for some reason, unlike any kind of Tesla design language stuff, put like an LED strip across. Actually, that's not true. The Cybertruck LED strip
Cybertruck.
across from like the headlight to headlight. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, is it the Hyundai or is it the new Tesla?
Yeah.
Turns out it's the new
Car
Tesla.
design lately has this thing where the car is the next generation, but it doesn't, and it looks different, but it doesn't really look any newer than the older car.
Right.
With exceptions like Hyundai, right? Those cars look new.
They smashed it. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, a lot of other stuff like the F-150 or whatever. Well, that's probably not a good example, but I would say C7 versus C8. It
Yeah.
looks different. It doesn't look a lot newer.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It's
Mustang.
just different.
too.
Right.
It
Right.
doesn't look a lot newer. It's just different.
Yeah. Updated
Yeah.
versus.
Which
yeah.
with the Mustang, what it is.
Yeah. I guess it's true. They don't want to shy away, from all that winning.
Yeah,
Lots
right.
of winning. Lots of winning.
God forbid you do something impressive with the world's most iconic sports car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
The only other crappy news I have is they discontinued a BMW M8 Coupe, which I didn't know they still made, honestly. I thought they discontinued that like a year or two ago.
They could never match the original M8's energy, unfortunately. And I drove an M8 Grand Coupe, and it wasn't that great, actually.
Yeah. You can still, luckily for you can still get the Grand Coupe
Great.
and the drop top.
Nice.
So just the good looking one they're getting rid of, and
Yeah.
they're going to keep those two.
You can get the bad sedan one or the one you look like a fucking jerk off in.
Take your pick.
Yeah, take your pick. Inside you, there are 2 wolves.
You lose either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there goes that. I swear to God, I did a year or two ago
You did.
a story where they discontinued the M8
You-
Coupe.
I think they
absolutely
announced
did.
it, and now they actually stopped.
This actually happened.
Yeah.
It just took that long to sell
They-
the
that was
stock.
cocking.
They're
That
just
was
trying to
cocking the gun.
They're trying
Yeah.
to
Stayed
sell what
fired.
was left. The
Yeah.
gun is fired.
Yeah.
They had
The car
that
is
much
dead.
inventory hanging around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It was like i8s. Remember when the i8 went out of production?
Oh,
Yeah.
my
I think
God.
they still sell new
There's
ones.
still, yeah.
Dude, you
I'm
can
sure
get those
there's
used
still-
for like $35,000 now.
We have a buddy. Matter of fact, you should probably follow him as well. John Volk. He's been on the show a couple times.
He does he do
He-
the
Doing some crazy stuff with
couch
his
built thing YouTube channel?
Yes,
that he has?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I follow. Dude, he's way smarter than me. Holy shit.
He
It's
came
just-
in here and talked to us, and I was like,
Just fucking science came
I'm a
straight out of
fucking
his
idiot.
mouth. dude.
Yeah. Dude, I know a guy who's actually really cool too, who's like a really smart mechanical engineer who put you might have read the story. He put I'm not sure if it was a Busa engine or a Kawasaki Ninja engine in the back of a Nissan Leaf. So he made like this bike engine, 12,000 RPM hybrid Leaf. Really, really smart guy. I was talking to him because we're like basically friends now because I'm doing my product. He's going to give me advice. We just like call each other and talk shit. And he mentioned him too.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, he seems a lot smarter than me. And he was like, Yeah.
It's just like there's no no shame in
Yeah,
our
John's
game.
unbelievable.
Where's he
dude.
working out of? Around here?
He's in Connecticut.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
We should hook up with him.
Yeah,
definitely
abs-
should,
You
yeah.
you should for sure.
He's big into 3D printing, but then 3D printing metal as well.
It's getting so cheap. I've gotten some metal 3D.
Oh my
have you seen my
God.
rapid beer chiller?
No.
I made a thing that can chill beer in 3 minutes. It consumes about a horsepower. But that uses a metal 3D piece.
Do you use a gas engine to fire it up? Because that would just be
No,
really-
it uses a really inefficient sort of heat pump
Yep.
called Peltiers.
Yep.
And it uses a lot of them, so it consumes a lot of energy in a very short period of time.
Love that.
Yeah.
Just soaking it all up.
But it'll freeze beers.
Hey, look what I can do.
Yeah, dude, that's the only thing I ever made, like hobby-wise, that my friends were impressed by. I make like the go-karts, all this cool shit. I'm like, look, guys, isn't this fun? Like, yeah, whatever. They all wanted to see the beer chiller.
Yeah.
Like, you can put ice in the beer? I'm like, yeah. They're like, no, do it, no way. and then it works. Yeah, yeah.
We always knew you were a genius.
That machine.
Whoa.
I like the ITB setup.
That actually, you'd be surprised. So the fans consume like 70 watts at full. It sounds like a fucking vacuum cleaner. when I put the stacks on, the wattage actually dropped.
Really?
So it got more efficient because I added the stacks. which is
Wow.
pretty cool.
No
Yeah.
way.
Are they like are they spinning the air before it hits the fan at all, or just
No, it's just kind of directing it so it's like otherwise it'd be pulling flow from like around themselves. All
Okay.
kind of like turbulent flow. When you add those, just straightens it out, gives like smooth airflow.
yep?
So it just makes it a little more, I guess, dense and more efficient.
That baby runs on 220 or 3-phase. What is it doing?
It runs on two separate power supplies. It operates at deadly voltage.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
And it requires a power supply for the actual cooling, and then another power supply to run the fans. And the
That's
pump.
amazing.
Praise
So it's
God.
not quite ready for
No, dude.
Prime time?
large scale manufacturing.
People were asking me on Twitter, like, I want to build this. No, you don't, bro.
Dude, 800 watts.
Well, it's exhausting all of that heat into the air. So it's just like
It's
it's just an 800 watt space heater for like.
I was gonna say it's just making the room
nice
warm.
in the winter, shitty in the summer. Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
The actually interesting part of it is that it's reversible. If I reverse the polarity, it would be like an air conditioner, and it would just get a beer can really hot.
It's incredible.
Like
The reverse microwave.
you get 3 minutes of air conditioning exchange for a very hot Sprite.
Right. Hell, you want to make want to make a cup of hot chocolate in the most
Well,
inefficient
dude,
way.
apparently in Japan they have canned coffee.
Yep.
Just throw fucking coffee in there.
Yep.
Oh,
There's
hot
your AC,
coffee.
baby. And there's no other vent otherwise. It just doesn't vent into anything. It just heats the can up. It's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's incredible.
The more you know.
Yep. So I wanted to hit on 2 YouTube videos I watched. That the YouTube car content. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it misses. Recently, I got 2 hitters. First one, actually, it's quick and easy, from Block Racing, Ken Block's family's YouTube page. I think it came out a few weeks, if not a month or so ago. Ron from Hoonigan, and Leah Block is on there as well. But he tells the whole story of the development of the Hoonicorn. And it's only like 15, 20-minute video or whatever. And it was one where it was suggested to me. I'm like, you know what? I really love that car. I'd like to know a little bit more
It's the most
about it.
iconic car,
And it just
easily.
ropes you in because it's cool because it's telling the story of the car, the development, how it came to be. Not necessarily the specs of it's this cubic inch, this
Right.
whatever. It's just the story of them. Here's the idea. Here's what Ken wanted to do, and what it took to make that happen.
What an iconic time in car culture.
It really was.
He was huge, and then like, talk about fucking punch the sun, and he built that, which
Right.
is like people
Yep.
have done retro mod Mustang, not like that.
Yeah, nothing like that
Yeah.
before. And again, at the time, it was kind of groundbreaking for what it was built to be used for.
Yeah.
And there are some tidbits of like, he drove this car like 3 times for small intervals for tests before he started to film. And it's like he got in it and had minimal seat time and
Yeah.
just filmed that Gymkhana
Yeah.
7, I believe it was, the one in LA and stuff.
Yeah. That was
Is
the
it
most
in-
iconic one.
Is it on the Blockhouse Racing channel?
Blockhouse Racing, yeah.
Okay, so it's called 10-year anniversary of Ken Block's legendary.
Unicorn?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be
Nice.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's right around that 20-minute mark. But it was just super cool. The car's there because they get into all the stuff again with the development, why he wanted to do it, everything that made sense of like him. All right, here's what I'd like to do. And then they talk about even the this versus that, or Unicorn versus the world. And then Leah's there as well, talking about her, like how she was surprised to basically Scotto just said, "Hey, do you want to drive the car?" Asking her live on camera because she had no idea what they were actually kind of leading towards. So it's all just a really good story, and then her experiences with the car and stuff like that. So
I just got chills from that.
It was cool to see, like, it's it's. I go back to thinking, man, what a loss!
Yeah,
what a loss for people in the motorsport community.
Talk about getting kids into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it was good to see that the Blockhouse Racing channel is up, and they are producing some stuff, and I hope they continue to do so. And I just really like that kind of learning some stuff about that car and what it took in general. So the other thing, kind of in the same vein, thankfully, all these participants are still there, but Travis Pastrana has his own channel, channel 199.
Mm-hmm.
He put out like an hour-long video of Pastrana Land, and it's so good because he's not like doing anything. It's him a month ago. He's like, it's raining, we wanted to film some stuff, we're just gonna walk around. And they walk around, but then they insert all the clips of he's telling the story of, here's the foam pit, here's its first iteration. Street Bike Tommy. and
Let's go.
Like they tell that story of how, Street Bike Tommy was there, but Pastrana was like just getting home, so he had no idea all this was about to go down. And he's like, "Oh yeah, Carl was telling me the only thing he was really concerned with is don't slip on the dirt." And he's like, "All right, yeah, I'm just gonna go faster." And then it just the story, and then you see the iconic footage of Street Bike Tommy just hitting that thing 10 tenths and just, and then they tell the story and show it like, oh yeah, here's the foam pit. Here's what it looks like behind it. 4 feet to the left was a pile of scrap metal. Right where Tommy landed is a pile of plywood. And he landed on the plywood and obviously still fucked himself up. But like a few feet that way, he's basically,
minced meat.
Just right, exactly.
It's incredible how lucky people are.
Yeah.
You ever think about that? It's like, man, it's like, again, we're talking about electricity before. It's like there's deadly voltage running around you all the time, all this shit.
Right.
So, and most people make it to like 80. Street Bike Tommy is at least going to be 50.
Dude, yeah. He's still going. He's actually in the film, and they're talking about it. And it's just quite funny. Like I said, it's an hour long, so they go over all the. And needless to say, my attention span, probably just like a lot of people, it's pretty small these days. I watched the whole thing.
You're fucking telling me.
I watched the whole thing, dude. And it's just, again, because Pastrana, watching kind of him as I was growing up, and watch him grow up and then become this icon in kind of extreme sports and motorsport, all that sort of stuff. And he talks about his development at that place, and again, showing just Nate Wessel is an old BMX dude, and now he's a ramp builder.
Interesting.
And he builds a lot of the stuff at Pastrana Land. And they're like, oh, yeah, we just kind of figure it out as we're going along, and I'll add like, all right, got to add another 12 inches vertical on that because he's going a little too far. And we want him to go 15 feet in distance, but 100 feet up. And it's just 100 feet up. Oh, yeah, because he's doing a fucking triple backflip on a motorcycle.
Right.
And it's just like,
that becomes your daily life.
it's just the shit that happens at that place, or has happened and happens at that place. I don't know how
Have you ever been to the Mount Washington Hill climb?
Not for the event.
Oh, you should.
It's the climb in the clouds. It's one of those things.
We were there last time, and in the morning he went up, broke the record.
Yep.
Afternoon went up, broke his own record.
Yep.
People are there, and it's actually pretty casual. And but Travis Pastrana shows up, and he's just fucking. People come up like, man, that guy's going pretty fast. People crash and shit. And then Travis Pastrana comes by like fucking like $120.
Yeah.
On the Mount Washington service road, and you're like. All right, that's why that guy makes so much money. All right,
it just there's a part, and even in the video, there's really cool parts to it because in the video, he's older, and he's like, I just had a knee replacement, and then in the thing, he's like subdued. He's like, yeah, that was the ramp that made me say, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah,
and he was talking about, matter of fact, that ramp that had, I think it was like 4 stories tall. And like 12 foot of
those ramps are fucking out of
12
control,
foot
dude.
of like almost vertical. And he was like, yeah, that was the one for the triple backflip. And he said, because again, hitting the ramp is one thing. These ramps are so fucking big, and they talk about it and they're standing there. And again, having him explain this was so fascinating. He's like, oh yeah, I started hitting it on a 125. I was in 6th gear, wide open. And the 125 wasn't enough because halfway through the ramp, I would lose momentum. So, and it's just, he's going so fucking fast and so straight up to do this thing. Like, the hardware can't survive it.
It's like, yeah, I was in low Earth orbit, but we
Right.
wanted to get to the moon, unfortunately.
It's just crazy. And so the point with that is at one point he's talking about the said ramp. And he's like, that's where I knew I was done, because I was scared to hit the ramp. He's just like, I'm scared to hit this ramp to land on an airbag. I can't. I'm done.
Yeah.
That was
Jeez.
it.
I'm saying, yeah, geez, like I can relate to that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone's got a-
yikes, man.
I was talking to Jesse.
everybody's got a limit.
Jesse,
Yeah.
Jesse did Climb to the Clouds. He was there when Pastrana ran it. And
Yes.
he was running his Mark III rally car.
Yeah.
And we were just bullshitting back and forth about Pastrana. And he's like, yeah, the guy's so fucking unbelievably fast. Like, Jesse's like, I missed podium by like one spot. And my good run 3/4 way up the mountain, I blew a fucking tire off my car. It's
Yeah.
like, Jesus. These guys just don't have any fear of death.
There's no-
insane.
He's got a fucking lock.
He was saying people were asking rally drivers to, like, people on the staff were like, hey, can you drive my car down the hill? I'm afraid to drive down the hill.
Driving back down.
And these guys are going up at fucking hundreds miles an hour. You're just like, you're afraid to drive down slow?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
crawled up at 7 miles
Dude.
an hour, and like
Insane.
I was like, wow, this is something.
Dude, when I went there, they gave me the "Your car climb Mount Washington" sticker
Hell yeah.
at the bottom of the hill.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can get out of there.
So I was just like looking both ways. I was gonna fucking sprint down. Yeah, you fucking thought.
Joke's
was-
on you.
That was like another one of those Gatorade moments where I'm like, I was really tempted to be like, but we didn't climb it.
Yeah. Right.
You couldn't be standing at the top
Why
of
do
the
you?
hill. My,
Shouldn't I earn this?
my brother
Like,
did this. He was at Panera Bread, and he walked up to the register orders or whatever, and he's like, "Can I get a side of a roll with that?" He's like, "Oh, we don't have any more rolls left." And he looks at the guy and he goes, "What is this place called? Panera what?"
No.
And it was like some kid, and he was like, the kid was just like speechless. And after a minute, I was like, "What am I doing?" I'm like, I'm sorry.
We gotta get out of here.
so fucking good.
Panera.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm
Yeah.
looking for?
Is this your place?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Dude, I watched a YouTube video quick in my man Harry's garage.
Yep.
Let's go.
He takes a Ferrari Purosangue to the French Alps, and it's not wildly. It wasn't wildly interesting, but the best part was immediately every warning on the SUV comes up. Like, he starts it in the morning, and he's like, I can't put the suspension up or down. I can't like do the windows. None of the touch controls work, and it's like
It's not his, I assume.
throughout the whole. No, they're like $350,000 base price. Throughout the whole time, it doesn't work great. And it kind of like it seemed it sucked a lot more than he lets on.
Yeah.
And I think it's like we were talking before, like he doesn't want to piss Ferrari off, but like
He's
dude,
a real
when
one.
it's
He does shit sometimes where it's like he definitely burned bridges to do it.
yeah,
Like I was told like he sold his Amira, and one of my boss was like, they rolled out the fucking red carpet for him for like his coverage and everything, and then he fucking sells it. No way he's ever getting another Lotus again.
dude, he talks about getting rid of the Amira. The video before this, when he's talking about how crazy the depreciation is on new supercars,
Yeah.
and he's like,
It's almost like they're
couldn't
not
afford
worth
to
it.
keep
That's
it.
crazy.
It's cool to thought.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, this thing you could get like a GT3 and like a
Yeah.
Range Rover and this. I mean, it's cool. He drove it to the French Alps, but like you could tell that thing was kind of fucking. I mean, it's like it's a V12. It sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah,
but-
he's great. And then like in his you watch his Harry's Farm channel.
Yep.
Yep.
He's like critiquing the Purosangue, and then on his farm channel, he's like calling the British Prime Minister a fascist. It's like this guy. I like the cut of his jib.
yeah.
I like this guy.
I fucking love Harry, but
Yeah.
it's so funny when he starts it.
Yeah.
And he's like, and every line, like airbag, every line on the dashboard's on. Like, it's fucking.
Then you switch. We're not growing our food here. What the fuck are we doing? It's like, all right, I'm switching back and forth. All right.
I fucking love Harry.
Yeah,
I
he's
really
great.
do.
He's a real one for sure. Have you read his history? He started Evo and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy's
Man.
an impressive
He's
dude.
like, yeah, I had all this money, and then I wanted to get rid of it, and I loved cars, so here we are.
Figured,
Yeah.
let's invest in a non-ROI.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
dude, his garage is deep, dude.
Yeah, it's
He's got
crazy.
So much great. And then you look at the bikes, and you're like, this guy's out of his fucking mind.
The bikes. I mean, I guess you just really have to be into them.
He's like,
right?
you can buy like bikes that raced across Africa
On
for
the
like
Dakar,
no money
yeah.
on eBay.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah,
I'm sure you
obviously.
can.
Why would you do that?
There's a reason.
They're like, it's like nothing for this thing.
Dude, I miss that old style of British person, that Mr. International, slightly
Oh, it's so good.
misogynist sort of
Yep.
James Bond, not Roger Moore, but the one Sean Connery.
Yes, yes.
If you
I
haven't
fucking
seen,
picked
if you haven't seen Jay Leno on, I usually hate Bill Maher. I think he's like a complete prick. But Jay Leno on Bill Maher's podcast on YouTube,
Yeah.
he tells the funniest fucking story about Sean Connery. Sean Connery was like a longshoreman. Did you know that?
that makes sense.
In
He's
the
got-
UK.
Yeah, I feel like he's always had that fisherman beard.
Yeah, yeah. And they were
Yeah.
like, he went on a like a bodybuilding competition. Like, what was he, a bodybuilder? No, he was just a long. He was just big.
He showed
was
up.
like, but he would go on the show. I'm not gonna do Harold impression, but Jay Leno was like, he would come on the show and be like, Jay, what's the latest dirty joke that's going around? And then I'd tell him, and he would laugh like a pirate. He'd go, ha ha, ha. Jay Leno does the best impression of him. And so he's like, they apparently had these like little bathroom with showers in it, and no one ever used them at like SNL. He would go in there, be in a little shower, and he'd be singing like, "Oh, let's go!" Like, motherfucker. Like you can take the fucking, you can make this guy James Bond, you
Right,
can do all
right.
this shit, but you
can't.
you're never gonna get him out of the fucking wherever.
Yeah,
The old
wherever British
longshoreman.
trying to get
yeah.
from.
Oh, I like stories like that. It's
Yeah.
good to hear.
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
Jay Leno has so many great stories like that.
I would love to talk to that dude just about everything.
I actually have I interviewed him, like very early on working at the Drive,
Yeah.
and it's for some Hot Wheels thing. He does like Hot Wheels Legends tour or something.
Yes. Yes.
And I was supposed to interview him about that. And we started talking for half an hour. We just talked about cars the whole time.
Yeah. Just go right.
He's like, "Oh, what do you have? Oh, that's cool. Oh, like, what did you just buy? I bought this new 2-cylinder Renault, whatever." Like, and then the call ended. And my boss was like, "Oh, cool. What do you get from the call?" I didn't record it. What do you mean you didn't record it? We just kind of talked the whole time. He was so pissed. And then just a couple weekends ago, actually, I went down to this car show in Newport or wherever. They had the
Yep.
Audrain.
Yeah.
And they had this thing for the Celestic there, which was when I rode in one. And I was talking to their GM's chief designer. And Jay Leno just shows up between us. And he's like, "Hey, Michael, is this thing, is this civilian compliant? Like, is this bumper a 5-mile-an-hour bumper?" Just like bullshitting.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I just like stepped away.
Yes.
I'm not going to get in the way of Jay Leno bullshitting here.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing his thing.
I was tempted to be like, "Remember me?" I was like, "Yeah, I got in trouble for that." But I was like, "Fuck it." Michael Simcoe is like talking design with Jay Leno. Like, I'm
Yeah.
outta here.
Yeah.
Just
Don't want to
absorb
just pop in there and
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not going to get in the way.
You familiar with a Cobalt?
Yeah, right. He has a memory.
I bet he
like that.
would. Yeah. I bet he would. Do we have any other YouTubes? Anything else you boys want to hit on?
Not too much. Not too much.
I think that.
The videos I shared with you before.
Yep.
Not gonna talk about them here. I was watching. I won't give the name or who it is, but watching this video about this incredibly exciting process
It was just boring
of
shit.
like part of owning a car, and it was just dry as a saltine cracker.
Oh, I can't wait to hear who
It
it
was
was.
fucking awful,
Yeah.
awful, and I just like it's painful.
The internet's unbelievable at that sometimes. Just
It's-
like, are you not having any fun with this fucking thing?
I don't know if it's like playing the cool guy.
Looks like it should be.
Like
It looks like he should be having a lot of fun.
Right. That sort of what's that term? Act like you've been there before. Well,
Yeah, I don't-
they're acting like they've been working at the same bowling alley for 40 years.
Yeah.
It-
So,
Oh, okay.
but no, a lot of great stuff going on. Actually, you know what? Vin did a really good video about what it's like having a YouTube channel for a year. It's
oh
actually
yeah. I did
very
see
interesting.
That. I did
We can
see
update
that.
him on what it's like for 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years, no traction.
Break.
That's our movie.
Can we break 2,000? Can we break 3,000?
how much money I've made on my YouTube?
Yeah. How much? It's
How much money I've spent?
or
on
no,
my
that's
YouTube channel?
exactly how much money we've lost over the past 6 years.
How deep in the hole are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have fun out there, dude. I literally fucking nothing gets. I drive my side by side like an asshole. Obviously, when it's snow, I get snow this weekend. I just got a Honda Pioneer with fucking a DCT in it,
Oh, cool.
dude.
That 5-speed DCT?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a pretty good train.
And it's got the pop-up seats for it. And, like, I put the kids in, the wife in. I'm like, I got a loop in my driveway. Dude, just fucking coming in that baby in third and slapping in the second. And I swear to God, I spent half my weekend doing donuts. Just, like, screaming like a little,
Do those
dude.
have a use like an hour use gauge or mileage?
Yeah, probably. I gotta check. But I got off that exhaust was like changing colors. I was just bapping rev limiter the whole time.
Village
dude.
blacksmiths.
Yonk, 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 yonk. Let's go.
You know, it's funny. I've been seeing a handful of dare I say, some adolescents really trying to learn cars.
Yeah.
And they're doing things in cars that they don't quite understand, I guess. And most of them are like, oh, my exhaust is glowing. That's really cool. Let me keep doing it. And they don't really understand the consequences of what
Yeah,
happens.
but it is cool.
It's super cool.
Cool. You're right.
And then it goes from like bright orange to just black smoke
yeah,
because your
just
car's
catches
on
on
fire.
fire,
But yeah, it's quite
I
funny.
think that one thing that's getting kids into cars, which is kind of unfortunate, is street takeovers.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think when kids see V8 cars at street takeovers, they're like, I want a piece of that.
It's right. It's just it's the wrong. It's kind of the wrong direction.
Yeah,
It introduces them for sure. For sure.
I saw this video of a second or third gen CTS V8 street takeover, and it just pulls up donuts like 180 entry right up to the camera, and it's just shooting
Oh,
flames.
I know the exact.
And someone puts like the best music I've ever heard over it, and it's like, yes!
And it's bellowing. It is
That's
bellowing smoke.
I don't know if I'd go to one of these, but I kind of get it.
No, you know why it happens. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
There's an element.
That's what no one is saying.
Definitely super dumb.
Yeah.
Right.
You can also do that shit in like an empty parking lot
Right.
with a couple
You
of your
don't do it in
buddies.
a
Right, it doesn't
fucking
have to be an
intersection.
intersection.
Yeah.
I don't.
You don't have to bring a gun.
Short of
I love fun.
if we
You don't
exclude
have to bring a Mac 10.
if
No,
we
you
exclude
don't.
the donut part of it, I think it's the fucking best time ever. It's the donut. If we just do it with the donuts, shut down an intersection.
I feel like you
do
can't
whatever you
it with
want.
Donuts.
It's the donuts.
Wait,
I'm
so
just
you,
like,
you don't have a problem with shutting down the intersection? You have a problem with the donuts?
You have a problem with the
Yes.
donuts?
Well, I think
Yeah.
that's the other. We should have the other way around.
Yeah. I'm going to say,
That's crazy.
fundamentally, you and I agree on a
Some
lot.
guy works nights at 7-Eleven as a street takeover sometimes. He's like, I don't care about the intersection. I'm going to the donuts. Now that
That's what I pick. You know, like my parents, they like to go out. They have friends, whatnot. You know, I picture them driving home at 11 o'clock and they're just stuck in the middle of it. What is happening? It's
some
just,
guy,
no, I don't
some
want
guy
that.
just gets
I don't want that.
ragdolled out of the fucking.
I don't want that.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
yeah. See, but it wouldn't happen.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
the
they're just
donuts
drag
aren't the
racing.
problem. They're getting too close.
Yeah,
Back up.
Donuts without a crowd.
Right. Don't bring your Mac.
donuts
10.
without a
Right.
crowd seems boring though.
Yeah, you leave your firearms at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First off.
Firearms always go flying.
They eat donuts
Probably,
somewhere.
you know, if you're going to be standing that close, don't wear sweatpants that could easily be ripped off.
Right.
Yeah, that's
What is it?
the worst possible.
Dude, have you seen the Minecraft remake of that?
No.
They have they modded a car into Minecraft. It's like spinning in a Minecraft village, but the audio is the same.
Yeah.
It hits his NPC, and they have like the texture pack with his ass out. His butt's out. It's so fucking funny. What a classic.
Oh, man.
Well,
Yeah.
No switch. Stand back.
Right.
Do it in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Completely kosher.
It's away from intersection, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
And
plenty of parking lots.
and when
dude.
we mean
businesses going out like this in this country.
Where's the NHRA on this?
and when we mean no intersection, we also mean no main highway
Right.
as well.
Fair
Not
enough.
in the middle of said highway. Matter of fact, there was videos of people doing it on the Providence Bridge like a couple Thanksgivings
I mean,
ago.
That's a Thanksgiving turkey burn.
That's a state highway. That's an interstate spur. That's not an interstate.
You get that's tax paid. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of there.
That's a victimless crime.
Right.
That's like insurance fraud.
And the other thing is, I shared a small video, just some like Instagram reel of a heavy accented New York man who's really not into the congestion charge.
Oh, let's
Love that.
He just made these giant middle fingers that he put on his license plates, and then he was standing in front of a camera that, you know, I guess takes the pictures for the congestion charge with another giant middle finger and just, you know, yelling.
Did you see they're doing that in London? But they expanded it to like the greater London area, which is like 6 million people. but they're charging people with those cameras. If your car's older than like an 06,
Yeah.
you just get a fine.
It's coming
Yeah.
here.
It's
And-
like that's just like a tax on poor people.
Yeah.
Hey, in
Right.
London, they cut them down.
Yeah,
I was gonna say there's a whole
So,
squad.
boy, let's get going.
I wasn't expecting that out of the Redcoats, to be
Yeah,
honest.
dude. Who would have thought?
Like, all right, yeah, you're
250
just gonna fucking deal with that. But sure enough, they show up with like a fucking hacksaw and they're like, I'm like, all right, hell yeah, all right.
Every, you
250
know,
years later, they figured it out.
I was gonna say,
Fine, about fucking time.
ever since the revolution, you thought they lost their gusto.
Yeah.
and
How
here
do
we
you
are.
practically
baby.
border France? Like they take away the stinky cheese and they like burn down the
They
Eiffel
cut
Tower.
everybody's head off.
Yeah, but now it's like what? It takes this for you to like get excited. It's like,
Right,
dude,
this is it. This and a football match.
They can start
Right,
doing that in
yeah.
New York. You just cut them down.
Yeah,
There was a video I saw some guy in like a London suburb, and he's like, hey, "Check out my shed." And you go in the shed, and it was like 24 cameras. He's like, the crazy thing is, it takes him 30 minutes to put them up. It takes me 5 minutes to cut them down.
what a hero, dude.
He's a hero.
Absolutely.
power in the people. There is power in the people.
Get that motherfucker on the
That's
podcast.
it. That's it. Oh my god. Yeah, we need them
I
all.
love to talk to that guy.
Need
Yeah.
them all.
Get a little motivational stuff going on.
He would probably have not much to say.
That'll get kids in the cars. Start cutting down cameras
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
for sure.
Come on,
Yeah, yeah.
little rebellion.
And on that note, there's power in the people. Pick up the kids. Cut down the cameras.
Hey, the kids cut down the cameras.
We've said
That's
street takeovers are okay.
yeah.
Take kids for rides in your car.
Gets better and better, dude.
Do
And the
burnouts.
Hey, make sure you
CPS.
listen to the podcast at all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a lot of. There's a good back catalog these days. We got some there for you to listen to.
Getting pretty deep.
Yeah. That is going to do it for us this week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Pete, for coming to hang out.
Thank you.
Hey,
Wish you the best with the next chapter in your career.
Thank you.
And
forward to
everything
hearing
else.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is real.
And as always, you got an open invitation. Now you got some time to come hang out.
Yeah.
All you have is, I've realized this growing up. I've waited to grow up my whole life, and being an adult is up for the hype. All you have is optimism, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Optimism and like curiosity. That's it.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Too, as
you
well.
don't have that,
It's yeah.
You don't have a fucking pot to piss in.
That can get you pretty damn far.
yeah.
PMA, the positive mental attitude.
Exactly.
There
That's
you
all
go.
you
It's all
need.
about it.
That's all you need.
Big shouts to everybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for listening and tuning in, whether it's on YouTube or on the audio side, on all the major players. We thank you very much. Go to our website, reviveorder.com, to support us. Sign up for the B for B. We will be back next week, as always. So we appreciate you. That's all we got. Peace out.
Later.